And the soldier will dance his way through to Saturday night.
That is how to do it. Andreas Harrysson, we are chatting away about how disappointing he's been. That's the way to do it, Connor Scutt.
Bueller? Anyone?
On a four flag, David Evans.
Phenomenal.
Give Glenn Durrant his first defeat of the night. It's a fantastic finish there from Davies.
Welcome along to the MODUS Super Series on what has already been a historic day here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. We've seen a 9-dart finish, the first of 2024 this afternoon. It came from Jared Curl, and alongside me to watch it was Glenn Durrant. Glenn, what a fantastic start to the day, and it could get even better tonight.
Yeah, well, you fancy a second 9-darter, but I'm not being greedy. I thought this afternoon was fantastic, and you know, to speak with Jared Cole after it as well, he didn't have the greatest of days bar in the 9-darter. It was a special moment.
I believe you've got a bone to pick with our production team, haven't you? We were just watching that little promo video there, and Davies was beating you.
Well, it had me losing. The one game I lost on that stage. But joking aside, it's been a great day. David Davies is part of the Group B tonight, of course.
Certainly is. Right, we'll get on to Group B in a moment, but let's just reflect on that moment of brilliance from Jared Cole. Here is that 9-dart leg, Glenn, and it's a special thing to do on any stage at any time, but doing it in front of the cameras, that's something for him to now relive whenever he likes.
I think what was really interesting, roundabout now we were talking how inconsistent he's been, but how he can turn on that brilliance. At that stage there, we sort of sat up and thought, hey, what's going on here? Because Jared Cole can do this. The angle wasn't great on that, wasn't sure. And yeah, well, I got a little bit excited as that one went in, and look at the big smile on his face. I love the fact that Michael Burgoyne played his part as well. He's just so magnanimous, a huge smile. It lit up this place, and a magical moment.
Yeah, that is the moment of the week, but the player of the week so far has been Leonard Gates. He won Group A earlier on in the week, won that group yesterday, and you can see the field in Group C. Well, just talking through that from this afternoon, Ashley Coleman, Greg Ritchie and Mike Warburton, they all got 4 wins from 5. It's going to be a really competitive end to that group, isn't it?
I can't wait. And it's not often you say that about Group C. You'll hear us talk an awful lot about Group B because the night session, you know, incorporates players who came second and third from Group A, etc. But Group C was fantastic, and of course, you know, I had my first experience of meeting Ashley Coleman as well, and what a story that has been.
Yeah, the few that maybe didn't know who he is will know who he is now, Ashley Coleman, and a lot of people were supporting him. It's going to be interesting tomorrow, but we're going to focus on Group B now, and we'll do that by looking at the betting. This is how the odds compilers have compiled the odds, and they've gone for Andreas Harrysson as a favourite, Connor Scutt second favourite. No surprise, those two players coming in from Group A, joining Evans, Bevan and Davies. What do you make of the way they've priced it?
I think they've got the bookies right. I've just been number crunching for an hour or so there. And Andreas Harrysson has that class about him, even when we've been talking that he lost his scoring power. What happened to him? He was still posting some really good numbers. For Connor Scutt, when you actually scrutinise what he's done this week, his doubles have let him down. He's been the weakest player and checking out. He's been going very low on his desired double top. Changing to double 18 wasn't working. Having his trials and tribulations on double 16. But knowing Connor, he'll have worked hard in trying to get that part of his game. I think his scoring phase is good, his 180s are good, but for Connor Scutt, yeah, he's going to have to improve on his doubles if he's going to qualify from this tough group.
What about the players coming in then? Because we've seen David Evans do fantastic stuff here before. David Davies has started reaching finals night with regularity, and Llew Bevan is the sort of unknown quantity.
I'll start with David Davies because obviously I was in the players there and you get to know players. We talk about this camaraderie there. A really clean guy, like I say, he looks good on the stage, a more methodical player, and give him a dart or a double, he's got a good chance. He sort of will have left himself disappointed at the MODUS Super Series because at this stage, last time he was here, he went unbeaten on the Thursday night and beat the legend and former Premier League champion on the way, may I add.
Who's that?
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But for Llew Bevan has been really interesting. I've just rang Jim Williams, who said, I don't know a great deal about him, Glenn, apart from the fact that he's really good, and just been chatting with him, and just been looking at his numbers there. Tell you what, he's an interesting one, and if you are looking for value for money at 9 to 1, I think that's where I'd be heading.
But let's see how he gets on. He's going to take on Connor Scutt. Thanks, Glenn. You'll be joining me in commentary. And we can hear that chat that Glenn had with Llew Bevan. He spoke to him a little earlier ahead of his debut.
Well, first of all, I'm going to put an apology in, Llew, because I'm really struggling to get that first name. But long way from Pembrokeshire, you must be super excited tonight.
Yeah, I am, to be fair. You know, obviously the group that's playing tonight, it's 5 very good players. So hopefully I can play like I can and hopefully play all right tonight and maybe put myself in a good position going into tomorrow night and then going into Saturday, hopefully.
I've heard some really good things about you as well. And Justin Smith, good practice partner of yours. Does he give you a little bit of help of the do's and don'ts here at the MODUS Super Series?
Yeah, he's not bad, I suppose, is he? Obviously, he's done really well here, so I'm hopefully now I can hopefully do the same as what he's done just to make it 1-1 between me and him. But no. Obviously, I'm looking forward to it. Just take one game as it comes and hopefully just see what happens. One
of the proudest moments I ever had, Llew, was representing my country. You will be representing Wales soon. Is that something that you're really looking forward to? Yeah, it's massive, to be fair. I missed out on it the year before by a couple of games, so I made sure I played enough games this year last year, just to make sure that I'd make it through. And yeah, fortunate enough, I'm in the team. So fantastic. Welsh individual champion, Welsh master as well. Going in tonight, what would success be this week?
I'm not looking too far ahead, given the quality of players that are playing, but if I can make it through to Saturday night, whatever happens then, it's a bonus. But yeah, the main goal is to get through to Saturday.
The very, very best of luck.
Cheers, Glenn. Thank you.
Yeah, nice chat with Llew Bevan there, ahead of his Super Series debut. Glenn Durrant asking the questions. He's alongside me, Chris Murphy, in the commentary box for 10 tungsten tussles this evening. And the first features this man on his maiden outing. He's from, as you can see, Wales. Connor Scutt, 27 years of age, from Kenley, the sniper, who still hasn't really found his best form at the Super Series since he returned following a 2-year tour card stint, falling off the Pro Tour, but maybe that might come over the next couple of nights. A reminder, as you just saw, we did have a 9-dart finish this afternoon. Jared Cole with the 10th under the roof here at the Live Lounge. Paul Hinks calling the 24th perfect leg of his illustrious career, and he is overseeing proceedings for another 10 matches tonight.
140.
Well, you'd have to make Connor Scutt a real big favourite for this game, but you know the people I've spoken to and chatted with, everything has been really positive about Llew, and
180.
one of those players that doesn't look when his opponent's thrown. So the last thing he wanted to hear was that sensational start, and this is not bad from Llew either.
140. $57.
Yeah, well, he's 12th on the Development Tour Order of Merit. Reached the semi-final this year. And there are some great players on that list. The majority of them have actually played here at the MODUS Super Series. And some guys, Keane Barry, Jan van Veen, all gone on to get tour cards. Danny Janssen played in this series. Sebastian Białecki, one of the players in the 9-dart club. And Bo Greaves, who's just above him, is set to make her debut soon. Llew Bevan is making a very exciting, explosive start to his campaign.
Yeah, almost the perfect start. Treble 18 for Scutt, not to be, so Bevan will be back.
56. Louis Car 46.
Did very, very nicely at Q skill and was unlucky to qualify. Needs this double 16.
Game shown the first
what
leg.
a start.
Bevan.
Nice 15 darter. I mean, Connor Scutt already deep in thought because he started the match, remember, with a 180.
$97. $133.
Yeah, has been doing the system. Applied himself on the development tour. Played in the PDC World Youth Finals last year at Llew. He lost to Josh Rock
60
in the last 32, but just by the score of 5-4 in that game.
He is the Welsh individual champion, the Welsh master.
46.
And will be putting the Welsh shirt on this year, something he's very proud and really looking forward to. And when I was chatting with him earlier, said there's no better feeling in the world.
82.
Didn't really big himself up in a sense that when I asked the question, what is success this week? He gave that very corporate answer of one leg at a time.
140.
But with darts like this, why not? Why not?
180.
What a start from both. Looks like he holds the point of the dart, hence the
81.
reason those darts are going in
82.
very flat and some funny angles at times. Connor Scutt, double top, has really let him down this week. However, he's not even going to get chance for missing the big number. The problem with the big number there, you're already thinking of the double top. This would really hurt. To take a 2-0 lead. Needs a treble. Doesn't get it. Connor Scutt will be back.
Connor Car 40.
And this is the area of the game I've been really focusing on. He has been going low all week.
Game shot on the second
However,
leg.
rectifies that with that nice double 10. Lovely start from both. And we're level after 2.
Third leg, Llew to throw first. Game on. $55.
Yeah, he was down to the quarter-final at Q-Skill to automatic qualification, but walked into Adam Hunt on the day he qualified and lost that game 6-0, but has some good names on his CV as Llew. He's, like you see, as you can see, very upright there. And just the way he's holding the dart,
100.
he's virtually holding the point of the dart. Hence the reason the darts are going where Connor has that. Incredible scoring power from both here. That's our third max already.
121.
All three of them for Connor Scutt. Works so hard on his game. I know I've said it a few times this
90.
week. And he's reaping all the awards. And as you can see, the angle of that dart going in.
96.
He couldn't stay on the treble 20. So 129 left for Llew Bevan, meaning 91. He can be quite direct with this.
51.
Sets it up nicely.
129.
He would expect to be back as 129 is a tricky one. Can still do it, but needs the treble. Can't be done. Connor Scutt, for the first time in this match, has an opportunity to take the lead
64.
and a break of throw.
Car 40.
So double top for a 13 dart leg.
Game shot on the third leg. Connor Scutt.
And Scutt does go ahead, and he's playing a really high standard, isn't he?
Through first. Game on.
102.5 the average. And it may be rising.
$100.
Yeah, great start to the Group B campaign from both.
140.
And Bevan is going absolutely nowhere. Connor Scutt has taken control of this match. And I did sense Connor Scutt's first game in the Group A campaign was a 4-0 defeat on Monday.
121. $93. $45.
Just a minor error there from Scutt. You can see how he felt about that. Starts on the 18 for the 268.
75.
Centre of the board there would have left a 170 finish there for Bevan.
$59.
Chance to break back here for Llew.
177.
Some of the setup play this afternoon in Group C was a real highlight. And Llew Bevan can get no better than that. And he's looking good now for 2-2. It was a little bit of a scrappy leg for Scutt.
60. Llew car 16.
Looks like Bevan will reap that reward.
Getting shot on the
Well,
fourth
he
leg.
scores
Llew
big.
Bevan.
He finishes well. Everyone's speaking about him as being all but
Fifth leg, Llew to
positive.
throw first.
And at 9-1 for this group, I felt he was the value. He's on debut, not showing any early nerves whatsoever. Can he see out this match?
45.
Absolutely brilliant from Scutt. What a way to kick off leg 5. And what an evening we could be in for if the darts carry on like this. What a day this could prove to be at the MODUS Super Series.
4 legs played, 4 maximums for Scutt. We did say prior to this game,
95.
preparation for this group, his scoring's been mighty fine this week. I also think he's a great front runner, Scutt. And I just think if he can
96.
get through this game and get a win under his belt, I don't think he'll have any issues in sense of qualification. It went wrong in that Group A campaign very early, and he struggled to bounce back, but he certainly got the game. One of
59.
the top players, and only last week played in the PDC Players Championships and reached the quarter-finalists. That's the calibre of this player.
$103. Conor car 167. $41. Llew car 157. $99. Conor car 126.
Well, he may have to take this, Scutt, if he's going to bag a break. Treble 19, another or the single. It is the single which leaves a bull. Oh,
Game
what a
shot on the
dart.
fifth leg.
What a
Conor Scutt.
finish. What a match.
Yeah, I said he might be working on his doubles a day and a half
Six
since he
leg Conor
finished his
did
Group A
first.
campaign. And he's 3 from 4 on the outer ring. Superstar from both players, but that little bit of magic there from Scutt could be the difference. He looks good. He looks very good. He's already had 4 maximums.
140. $96.
I think whatever happens here, Murph, Llew Bevan can look at all the positives here. And he will be part and attempting to qualify this. I think he's clearly
57.
enjoying that stage environment, playing good darts. He's just coming against an inspired Scutt.
He's not slowing down himself, though, is he?
180.
He will not give in.
Well, we've just been chatting with Paul Hinks, haven't we? And wow, his tonsils are taking a test in here with these 180 shouts.
134.
Scutt himself has it 4 in this match. There's been 5 between them. Both players averaging around the 98 mark.
140.
And Scutt, well, this would be the perfect way to finish this game.
Yeah, the cherry on the cake. What a start. Surely the one has to follow that.
105.
Well,
Llew 85.
I think I'm speaking for every single viewer when I say I want this to go in and let this game carry on. Can Bevan bag the ball?
60. Conor car 65.
He wasn't too far away. Scutt may attempt to start on the 25 area. He has got options. Treble 19 is the aim. He's done that before for double 4.
63.
Width
Llew
of
car
a
25.
wire.
So 25 for Bevan to keep this glorious game going. Double 8. Should be a help for him, that.
Getting shot on the
And he's
sixth leg.
used
Llew
it.
Bevan.
He's used it. In off the post.
Sensational
final
game.
leg,
There was some
Llew to
serious
first.
body movement in that throw, but it hit the desired target in the end.
Game on.
What a find. That is just raw
96.
talent throwing darts there.
$50.
Just for the first time, Connor Scutt. Little sigh of resignation a little bit. He's just up against someone here who's just relentless.
60.
However, trebleless there. 100 points, so Connor Scutt will be looking for 2 trebles here. With the first one, surely he'll achieve that. This is the Brucey bonus.
140.
Wonderful game this has been. It will end at the end of this leg. But I was thinking switch. I should have said it. It sounded good, Glenn, wouldn't I?
For once. Yeah, them darts going in a bizarre angle. Like I said, it's just raw talent. But fair play to Scutt. He was looking in a dangerous position a couple
42.
of minutes ago. But once again, this match is flip-flopping from one player to the next. Chance here now for Bevan.
59.
Why do the trebles get smaller in the last leg decider? Honestly, they do.
140.
5 scores of a ton, 5 140s, 4 180s. The power scoring of Connor Scutt.
140.
However, Llew Bevan is going nowhere. This for the match.
Well, Bevan himself has 8 140s in this game. And he's going to get a shot for the match himself.
89. Llew 107.
Set up play, magnificent. This has to go. He's going to get a dart for the match. It's at tops.
87. Connor 40.
He misses tops. Can Connor hit tops? A Super Series spectacular.
Game
See
shot
Scutt
on the match. Connor Scutt.
win a belter. 4-3. He breaks in the last leg. Both players had a chance to win that match, but it's Connor Scutt who seals it on tops. And look at those numbers. 4 180s for Scutt, 5 140s as well. Bevan on his debut got 8 140s in that game. But Connor Scutt with a slightly superior checkout rate. That was a difference, including that fabulous 126, ended on the bullseye. Well, follow that, Davies and Andreas Harrysson. That's coming up after the break.
And welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, and what a blockbuster start we've had to this Group B campaign. And fair play to Llew Bevan and Scutt. That was an absolute beauty of a match. Went the full distance of 7 legs, and Scutt just got over the line in the end. Andreas Harrysson approaching the jockey, runner-up in the Group A campaign. One of the real big hitters at the moment, fresh from a fantastic European Tour match with Gary Anderson. And in your picture there, Davies, who I know very well, played him on that stage, and on his opening night of his Group B campaign, left with played 4, 1 4. So you'll have happy memories of that. However, I'm such a fan of that man in your picture, Andreas Harrysson. A real possibility that he can be lifting the trophy on Saturday night. However, after a staggering start on Monday, a couple of averages of around about 98, he actually saw that and went 117.88 average. It was fantastic to see, but will have been slightly disappointed that he went missing a bit on Tuesday and Wednesday. That opened the gate for Leonard Gates.
First leg, Davey to throw first.
For a new day for Dirty Harrysson. New challenge. Is David Davies up for that challenge?
Been some week, hasn't it, when you think about it? That average, the fanfare and the performances of Ashley Coleman this afternoon, the standard
58.
Produced by Greg Ritchie, the 9-darter. It has been a simply sensational Super Series week. And don't forget, it all culminates on Saturday night. Tickets are available.
43.
You could be here in Portsmouth watching some high quality errors. All you got to do is head to dartshop.tv.
99.
I'll personally pay all the £2 if Adam Lipscomb's fans can come back again, because what an atmosphere they created on Saturday night. It's a fantastic venue here, and these players have
55.
played all week. And to get that sort of atmosphere on Saturday. Leonard Gates, the only player who's through, but you can get there by simply scanning that QR code on the screen. It'll take you to dartshop.tv. There is a small booking fee. And hopefully see you here Saturday night.
$96.
Yeah, interesting talking to Jared Cole actually at the end of today's show. If you missed that interview, you can watch it back at your leisure. But he was saying that the 9-darter, although it was a nice moment, he would have much rather had a few more points on the board and
58.
a better chance at making it to Saturday himself.
He said he wish he didn't hit it, and I tell you what, in a couple of days' time, he'll realise that's nonsense. One thing he will always remember is that moment when he hit the 9.
140.
First good moment for Andreas Harrysson. A relatively slow start. David Davies shaking his head a couple of times so far. Not good signs for him. Very cool, calm and collected.
Yeah, keeps getting to finals nights, but
59.
doesn't often
Andreas
perform
Wilcar,
on finals night,
167.
David Davies. That's the next step for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I practiced with him quite a lot as we look at Andreas Harrysson looking at this 167. The week just seems to get better and better, and you just expect incredible finishes like that to go in. Chance for Davies.
$83. Andreas Wilcar, 25.
So 25, the piece has left after the missed bullseye. Double 8 becomes double 4.
21.
A chance
David Wilcar, 84.
for Davis.
He's on throw. Had to stay straight there, so he needs a treble now. Gets it. Double 11. Harrysson
62.
wasn't watching there. If you
Andreas
did see that
Wilcar,
first dart,
4.
you expect him to be back. Missed opportunity there for David Davis. Normally, Harrison's doubling's good. He likes to just sit above a dart. This is now awkward.
No score. David Wilcar, 22.
Well, he couldn't find double 2. Now David Davis wants 22. Halves it. Just, yeah, you can see his reaction. That was very close to the double.
18.
That one's not close enough to the double.
Wilcar, 4.
It's all just got a little bit messy. Not something you'd associate with Andreas Harrysson.
Game shot on the first
Gets
leg.
there in the
Andreas
end.
Harrysson.
Doesn't show an awful lot of delight. Doesn't give it a lot of emotion. tough man to play and
Second leg,
beat is
Andreas
Andreas,
to throw
but
first. Game on.
he'd be relieved to get over the line on that one. He had a fantastic 97.78 average for day one. Them kind of numbers are spectacular. It dipped to
100.
87.89 day two and dipped again on day three to 85. His doubles stayed around the 30% mark. He did have a fantastic day on the Tuesday, but he knows there's plenty more in the locker.
42.
Just waiting for it to come out.
$54.
Yeah, a real sort of contrast to the opening match where both Bevan and Scutt were on fire. This pair just struggling to get started and, well, to get finished in that previous leg. Took
94.
Harrysson 7 darts to finally land the winning double.
Yeah, I think David's more one of the methodical players, and we saw that a few of the players struggled against someone like Max de Jong
81.
in the Group A, Group C campaigns. He's not slow. He will just dictate the pace, however.
He's a very good friend of fellow Denby
60.
darter Mark Webster. Good colleague of yours, Glenn, and I actually do think he's got some similar mannerisms as well when he's on that stage.
99.
Yeah, when David did beat me, when I did switch my phone and when I got back to my room, you can guess who was the first person to text me. One thing I'm not liking about his
Andreas
darts is the Ryan Joyce
167.
flight. What are you thinking?
$45.
It's all very scrappy.
$57. Andreas, your car 122.
The only problem with going that way, the second dart has to be a treble again. A few players are using that 25 treble 19 route. Treble 18 is traditionally the way to go, but nothing Davies can do way back on 208.
$134. Andreas, your car 66.
Double top then for Harrysson to double his lead
26.
over the top, and Davies
David, your car
returns.
74.
Yeah, these types of finish have to go against Andreas. Perfect start. Perfect
Getting shot on
finish.
the second leg.
The
David
best moments for
Davies.
Davies. A big smile there because he's clearly saying they're the only two darts. He's thrown
Third leg,
well so
David,
far in
you
this
throw
match,
first.
but he's 1-1. Uncharacteristic this for Andreas Harrysson. And this started round about the middle of day two.
Game on.
And that shake of the head is the most emotion you will get from that man. And I've got no answer for it, Chris.
Very, very rarely, as Glenn Durrant rightly spotted, do you get a reaction
59.
from Andreas Harrysson. But he looked disgusted, didn't he? He's unsettled, totally unsettled.
Maybe a bit of fire in the belly is what he needs.
100.
He's the most serene Swede you could ever wish to meet, and he never ever gives anything away. He'd be the perfect poker player, but tonight it's evident that there's a sour taste in the mouth.
95.
Yeah, it's a real turnip for the books. Do you like that?
Do you want me to be honest or humour you?
83.
I'll be honest, I thought it was very good.
Yeah, the one thing I did
76.
remember of David Davis is he was a big practicer in the... There again, we had Conan Whitehead, who honestly, through 3 practice starts before he got on the stage, when you go from one extreme to the other, Connor Scutt, they
140.
think, practices the moment the game finishes till the next game. And David Davies was very similar. And he was really peppering the treble 20 in his practice matches. I knew we had a game when we played him. But today,
55.
you'll want to forget this, start the pair of them.
$100.
It's a pedestrian pace, this game. And it's because neither player has really settled down. Has to look at the bullseye,
40.
really.
Andreas, your car,
Had
78.
he chipped 6 more off there by hitting the 25, he would have been on a finish.
Yeah, the importance of understanding board management. That is in Andreas for double 12. And this time the execution's with the Swede. He leads 2-1.
Fourth leg, Andreas to throw first. Game on.
That 117 average of Andreas, he was playing at a much faster pace in this, and I just don't think he's enjoying this pedestrian start. But however, that rhythm he just seems to be
100.
finding now.
Well, he's averaging 40 points less than that personal best average that he produced. Just shows the range in this game, Glenn.
Yeah, however, his last 12 darts, done 40 ton, a
58.
2-dart checkout and a score of 100. So much better than the start of this game.
Even you, when you were here on that stage, you never averaged 40 points less than your previous match, did you?
100.
Well, I'd have had -3 if that was the case.
Do you feel that there is a
100.
player in this group that everybody else is looking at as a man to beat?
I think that the fact Connor Scutt, I think, was the name. Andy started well. I think that's the one thing for
100.
me. I don't think Connor's really showed enough to me that fighting quality. So I think that was a big win for him there. I think they'll be delighted to see Andreas playing like this. Really looking forward to David Evans up next. But for me, Llew Bevan was the one who's really impressed me, and it's a wide open group.
Yeah,
Could be a big ask for
absolutely.
David Davis.
It does look like that, doesn't it, now? You saw the way that Bevan played in that first
60.
match. He was a sort of unknown quantity. Yeah, we've seen what he's done on the development tour, but never really seen him on a stage, and he's already shown as an indication that he can beat anyone, can play at a high level.
1 out of them, 40.
Any
Andreas
3
Ricard,
from 5
141.
capable of going through.
His first ton 40 of the match, David Davis. However, Andreas Harrysson, 6 darts and 141. That little shake of the head he had 5 minutes
59.
ago. Seems a while now. However, 82's not a gimme. He'll fancy it. But David Davis has got to go back upstairs now.
97. Andreas Ricard, 82.
Well, bullseye for starters. Well, now it might even be 2 tops, because he's hit a 2. Yeah, he was bold enough to go that route,
42. David Ricard,
but David
80.
Davis has the 80 to complete, but in 3 darts.
A big dart in this match to go level.
60.
Just
Andreas
looks like you
Ricard,
can just see him
40.
squint his eyes. I think he realised the importance of that opportunity and to take a 2-leg lead.
$30.
Like I
David
said,
Ricard,
this is a
20.
man 2 days ago smashing this board to bits.
The Swede not up to speed in Group B. But lucky for him, David Davis is playing at a similar level and
No score.
making his own mistakes.
Andreas Ricard, 10.
Just a little look around. That was the way to go.
Game shot on the 4th leg. Andreas
Well,
Harrysson.
far from spectacular, but he leads 3-1. And in the scheme
Looks
of
like
things in
David
this
is no
Group B, it is
first. Game
just
on.
about getting to Saturday night, but also the panic's a little bit there when you're looking at your averages as well to assess your game. But just look at his demeanour behind there. I don't think I've ever seen Andreas look so
1 out of
down.
them, 40.
Maybe the fact that David Davis has found the treble, that might inspire Andreas for that first dart. Doesn't give me much hope.
41.
Well, one good news for Andreas Harrysson, this game, and then he has got a few games off. It's a busy end to the night for Andreas.
100.
But he has not settled at all tonight. And the plan is just to get the 2 points and come back swinging later.
60.
Well, my mind now goes back to Mike Warburton this afternoon, who didn't play well at all and managed to muster up 4 victories from 5 matches. Some days you're going to play fantastic, other days you just got to find a way to win.
Yes, he was struggling with his sciatica. I did chat with him later, but he didn't tell anybody about it because you don't show weakness. So he said, don't mention it on the mic, Glenn.
You do realise you just have, right?
Damn.
So you locked out of the accommodation this evening?
For the second time this week, though, Mike, so I'm getting my own back.
50.
Left the key in the door, can you believe it? Can you explain this Harrysson one? I feel like I'm not sitting on the fence. I just don't know what's going
36. On. David Ducar, 72.
Yeah, caught cold, isn't he? David Davies hasn't punished him enough in this match. He needs to start doing it because he's the one that is skating on thin ice at
52.
the moment.
I think Harrysson wanted that double top to go so he can have the darts in the next leg.
41. David Ducar, 20.
Well, I don't know Swedish very well. It was something about ABBA.
Game shot on the 5th leg. David Davies. Sixth leg, Andreas to throw first. Game on.
Can he find a way to turn it around?
$81.
And that first start, really good for him. Unable to follow it.
Yeah, low in the treble 20 bed, which suits the way he throws. Big 3 dart here for David Davies. I think the winner of this one has got away with one, really.
45.
I'm thinking, Llew Bevan's thinking, why couldn't I played one of these 2 first game? Such a wonderful start to this Group B campaign in that opening game.
96.
But this has been a slow burner.
One out of them, 40. $95.
Yeah, just need to throw a little bit more purpose there. You can see that winning line now. But at the same time, Davies is now finding the treble. Very, very regular as well.
180.
First 180 of the match. All about timing.
Needs to come down to the 19s now.
43.
But he's misfired, and now
David Ducar, 136.
David Davies has 2 visits after that maximum. Set up this 136.
We'll have to stay there. At 76, he'll fancy his chances. Remember, in the last leg, if it does go the distance, Davies will have the darts.
100. David Ducar, 76.
So stay straight with the first. Treble is the bonus. For double 8.
$72. Andreas Ducar, 86.
Well, Andreas Harrysson here, ready to pick his pocket. Treble 18, the first target found. Double 16, found.
Shot and the match.
Win
Andreas
achieved.
Harrysson.
It was an ugly one, he knows it. It was dirty from Harrysson, but he got the job done in the end. 4-2 over David Davies, who just could not punish in key moments in that match. Neither player will be happy with the performance. Andreas Harrysson will take the points. He has taken the points, and he joins Connor Scutt in getting an opening win. The man he beat, Llew Bevan, is back in action next. He takes on David Evans on his first outing of the evening.
And welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, and what a tale of two matches. An incredible start with Llew Bevan against Connor Scutt. It was a real fantastic game that went the distance. And you have to say, the match between David Davies and Andreas Harrysson didn't really set alight in the end, but it's wins so far for Connor Scutt and Andreas Harrysson, two players that have come down from Group A. We're really looking forward to seeing that big smile on the face of David Evans, a genuinely nice guy. Another player with a real Rolls Royce throat. Absolute loves the game, he does. And last time I was here, he won 14 out of 15 in a Group A campaign. Loves the MODUS Super Series. Always watching when he's not playing as well. But I was fascinated by this man in his opening game. You can see the fact he holds the point of the dart, so you'll see them going some crazy angles. However, his accuracy was absolutely superb. Looking forward to this one, and I think David Evans, if he didn't know much about him before, he certainly does now.
Yeah, maybe a slight advantage actually to have seen him play. Knows he's up for a game. There'll be no whipping boy in this group. That's
game on.
A certainty. I'm going to make a prediction now, Glenn. Not usually in the business of doing that, but I don't think any player will end this night without any points.
Well, I didn't see an awful lot there from David Davies. Like I said last time I was here, he's someone I want to see do well. Because I got to know him during there. But like I said, in respect to the others, you would expect that to be the case. I don't think Llew Evans will go pointless. I think he deserves a win under his belt. But a tough start. Connor Scutt, then David Evans.
Well, it's Evans v Bevan in the third game of 10 tonight. We did have some sensational stuff this afternoon. Jared curling a 9 dart. Ashley Coleman, who
18.
caused a real stir, won 4 out of 5 matches. And actually, you mentioned a player from your neck of the woods called Carl Coleman, didn't you? Did you see his post on social media today? The Ashley Coleman fact has got that far
45.
that somebody has actually got in touch with Carl Coleman and asked him if he was his dad.
Well, that's made my night. I'm speaking to Carl as we speak now. I mean, Carl Coleman is probably the Ashley Coleman of the North East because
David Ducar,
he
48.
runs so many competitions as David Evans looks for the opening leg here.
Getting shot on the first
Fabulous
leg.
start from David Evans. Stretch. But yeah, a game between Carl Coleman and Ashley Coleman would be a beauty.
Second leg, Cloud to throw first. Game on.
Though Carl's only 2 years older than Ashley.
57. 59.
Yeah, I was surprised he started
100.
there. After that first dab, what he likes to do with the second one, because he throws with such ferocious power, he seems to just power his way into the treble 20. But I'm a big fan of the Evans throw. Very reminiscent
58.
of the way I chat about Mike Warburton. Perfect miss, because he just likes to sit it on top of that dart
60.
there. With just a little scowl. Chance here for Evans, ton behind.
Yeah, he's had some good times here at the MODUS Super Series, as you've mentioned already,
96.
Glenn. David Evans.
$60.
Great timing. Just fascinated with this throw. Very tall is David. However, he has that front elevation, so we'll get a side on view of his
57.
throw.
David Ducar, 108.
In the next leg. He'll stay there for another single 19. It's been a fantastic start. Double 16.
76. Cloud Ducar, 167. $60. David
We'll
Ducar,
get some
32.
overheads as well, just to see the angles of those darts that when Llew throws.
Getting shot on the second
Super
leg.
stuff from David Evans. He didn't look very happy with that second dart, did he? If he was in that players
leg,
area
David,
watching that
first.
opening game,
Game
he might
on.
have been a little bit nervous. But you can see the focus, the repetition, the pre-throw. We look at the side there. Very, very tall.
93. One out of them.
Do you know what? I
40.
think that David Evans is kind of the forgotten man of the previous series. I was looking at his results, and we see that angle of entry there. He played in the final week in Group B,
96.
finished second in the group to Scott Taylor. Then on finals night, all of his matches went 4-3, including a semi-final, which he lost 4-3 to Scott Taylor, who, of course, went on to win that week,
57.
went on to win the series.
Yeah. Again, a great angle. Not necessarily for David, because, like I say, a very traditional dart throw.
96.
Just look at the angle. Just imagine you're in the body of this man. Just look at this. I mean, that's Taylor-esque understacking.
100.
So if you ever go and pick a set of darts up and throw holding the point, and that's what's happened. Whereas David, like I said, that Rolls Royce, he's looking good.
180.
Yeah, he really is. This is a statement performance from David Evans, whose average reaches 3 figures. He's looking at double 18 for a 13
David
dart
Ducar,
leg.
36.
And poor old Llew Bevan has run into a couple tonight, hasn't he?
Getting shot on the third leg.
Last
David
dart
Evans.
again. And that can feel even better because you know how much it's hurting your opponent. And speaking about successful players on the stage, big well done to Luke Littler tonight, winning his first Premier League in Belfast. We know he watches the MODUS Super Series so much as well. And he did it the hard way tonight as well. Beat some of the real big hitters.
Well, interesting statistic there. David Evans, 3 180s, no hundreds, no 140s. It's all or nothing for David Evans.
97.
That's for Bevan. No 180s, but 6 scores of 100 or more.
Yeah, he just seems to be holding on to that, David, before the release than when I've seen him previously. Whether he's just working on a little bit, but like I said, he's got all the fundamentals there with that throw.
So we know if the first start goes in, the other 2 will definitely follow.
Every time
I see David Evans, I think of them ducks all around this building.
Well, I suppose he has to duck a fair bit, doesn't he, when he's walking through doorways and things.
60.
But that wasn't the joke. It was Matthew Edgar who actually... Here we go. Guaranteed maximum. Oh, he's ruined the run.
No one's making you look good tonight, are they?
Well, you are, Glenn. But Bevan may make himself look good here. Not on this occasion. But yeah, it was Matthew
56.
Edgar who, in a group, called him a sitting duck. Evans actually took exception to that at the time, but then saw the funny side later on and treated the MODUS Super Series
60.
arena to loads of rubber ducks.
Wow. I say he is a bit wild.
8. David Carr 132.
He reminds me a little bit of Alex Small. Does Llew Bevan?
Well, that won't be the easiest start for him to get past if he does find the treble 19, which he doesn't anyway. So Bevan will have a chance. Now, tops is not the best double, really, is it, for a player whose darts are perpendicular landing in the board? Doesn't want to be above it like that.
Virtually impossible, you think. Moves right across to the left-hand side, but finds a way. He seems to bash his way through. Even when he's on a treble 20, he's stay there.
Fifth leg David to throw first.
Just an indication of how poor leg that was for David Evans. His average was over 100 going into it. Now down to 88. He's just taking his time there.
96.
He'll take that.
$96.
Yeah, I'm definitely a fan of Bevan. I'll be certainly watching out for him. I think the last time I really looked at his name was I was following Adam Hunt at the Q School this year.
140.
When he got to the quarter-final stage on the last day, he came across Llew. It was Adam Hunt that won that game 6-0.
100.
But finished around about 27th place that he did at Q School. He had a good run. Good experience for the lad.
Well, fans and viewers of the MODUS Super Series, I'm sure, will want to join us in congratulating Luke Littler in winning his first Premier League night. Congratulations to Luke, of course, who made the biggest impact of anyone on this stage, winning 2 series. He's beaten Nathan Aspinall 6-4 in tonight's final. And if a few of you may have been watching the Premier League and have now switched over
134
to join us, I can just recap. Llew Bevan, this man, lost 4-3 to Connor Scutt in the first match. Andreas Harrysson won 4-2 against David Davies in the second. And David Evans won 4-1 against Llew Bevan in the third. Stretch with a big win in his opening match, and he played well for it, deserved it. 93.27 the average, 4 out of 9 on the doubles. He hit 3 180s in the process and maybe sent out a bit of a message to the rest of the group saying that he is the one, well, that they'll all be looking up at, I suppose. Coming up next, Connor Scutt against David Davies.
yes. What a way to start Makuru Suzuki, a 160 finish.
That is sensational from Lisa Ashton.
Bullseye for Trina.
Oh, yeah.
Can't hit the big doubles, you can hit the smallest one on the board though.
And welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, and how exciting the news that Bogeries will be making her appearance here at the MODUS Super Series. She's an absolute fantastic player, the best lady player out there. And to see her on this stage will be absolutely fantastic. Will she make the impact that Ashley Coleman did? That's Connor Scutt in your picture there, and he was marvellous in his opening game against Llew Bevan. Just the start that he wanted. I just get the sense of Connor Scutt that when he sees himself in the top position at the table, I think he'll kick on. He had a group campaign where he was always looking up, and he's playing David Davies here, who had a bit of a stinker in his first game. So if we're looking at the first two matches, you would think there's only going to be one winner in this game. Doesn't always work like that here at the MODUS Super Series, but Scutt goes in favourite.
60.
I have to say, Llew Bevan on debut, he's run into a couple of belting performances, hasn't he? How's your luck? And it will be his luck that David Davies picks his game up by the time he plays him, and Andreas Harrysson has found his form by the time he plays him as well. You just have those nights, don't you, sometimes?
Yeah, you certainly do. Connor Scutt seems to be having one of those nights as well. 4 maximums in that opening game as well. Could have been more. So close to, with a few 140s as well. But you'll watch David Davies in that first game, and Connor Scutt will be eyeing an unbeaten start after 2 games.
30.
Yeah, I've used
60.
the term an awful lot this week, that Connor Scutt is a real student of the game. He plays an awful lot online. He's working on a little bit with social media as well. Up to 8 hours a day, he says he practices. And he realised on Tuesday he was just playing incredibly quick. I couldn't believe he was kicking the ankles of the player as he trying to get in a break. He realised that. And I could just see tonight he's looking a lot more composed than himself.
57.
Interesting comment in the YouTube chat about the fact that the lady players, we just played that little BT of Bo Greaves' first appearance announcement, also featuring
54.
other women that have played here. And the comment here is that the ladies seem to freelance a little bit. They don't seem to stick to one code. Well, they don't have to, is the answer. In PDC darts, the
90.
128 on the Pro Tour are only able to play in that. They can't play in this. They can't go and play in WDF events, etc. But in order to grow the women's game, which is, starting from a lower starting point,
76.
I think it is the right thing that the women are allowed to play as much darts and as many darts when they want, where they want.
Yeah, there's a real depth in the game as well. When 54. I was applying my trade in a BDO, that was, early doors, there was maybe 1 in 4 players who could win it. Now I think that women's series as well is really bringing on young players. But wouldn't it be great to see Bo Greaves here? I can't
39.
think of anybody else after that, Chris, who I want to see on the stage.
Game shot on
Well,
the
Connor
first
Scutt
leg.
takes the first leg in this match. And yeah, actually, it's a good point because there has been a clamour on social media for certain players. And in the interview that we did with Ashley Coleman, that is out on the YouTube channel, have a watch of that. Those of you who are interested in his story, from YouTube star to Super Series star, Jake Kenyon, our head of social media, said that the 2 players that were really asked about by our followers and fans, Ashley Coleman, Bo Greaves.
77.
And they both, one is here, one's going to be here.
I want to see Ashley Coleman's dad, Carl.
There was a time where you were in that conversation as well, Glenn, about
57.
getting on the stage. You did it. Fair play. No
one's asking no more.
Well, David Davies is. But there's no... Look, in all seriousness, there's not for me or anyone else to criticise the person who actually gets up there and gives it a go.
Yeah, these players are hungry. They have the desire. It's what they want to be. I mean, I do think of myself on that stage when I was more at the stage where I wasn't a Lakeside champion. So that Super League player, county player, was travelling the country, had dreams and aspirations about being a professional player. And I was putting in some staggering averages.
100.
I was good. I was very good. And I was one of those ones that, didn't do a circuit. And I just decided around about 2011 to do it. And I just think, imagine if the MODUS Super
100.
Series was around that time. I'd be walking in like Llew Bevan, and it would have been great. It is a fantastic place to play darts.
Well, we will answer a few questions from the chat this evening. Join us. Let us be your company on a Thursday night. And Lee, who often gets in touch, he's asked Glenn, what do you make of Matt Edgar going to great lengths to win a bronze medal in Faroe Islands?
59.
I must admit, I enjoyed his vlog. Look, he has a target. I like that. He wants to be a Lakeside champion. He believes he can be a Lakeside champion. Just a couple of injuries are sort of stopping him from doing it. But
65.
it's great to see how difficult it is, all the travelling. I used to hate it when players got criticised. As Scutt looks at this, 145.
117. David Ducar, 100.
David Davis really needs this. The fact that that's interesting. Another brilliant checkout. And I was going to say, the fact he moved made me think that he was going to try and hunt down the treble, but he's gone for two tops and he's pulled it off perfectly.
His best moment of the night so far. It's been a lacklustre start, a disappointing start. He's a good guy, David Davis, and he's used to winning on that stage. He knows how to get there on a Saturday night. I'm sure his plan of attack was to, how am I going to play my qualifying games on the Saturday night? But it's been a tough start so far. Will that two tops be the moment to get him going?
30.
It was week 7 of Series 6 when yourself and David Davis shared Group B.
125.
And as you said, he was a different beast. Won every single match in the group. Perfect record. And then
58.
he got to finals night and only won 2 legs.
Yeah, I think I sort of was talking about Max de Jong, that type of style. Despite the fact that David Davis won 8 out of 8, I wasn't seeing the 100+ averages for him. He's a tough player to play. Like I say, he dictates the pace. And I think the next phase of David Davis's game is to try and find that A game.
57. Conor Carr, 56.
56 for Scutt for a brilliant leg of darts in response. Well, it won't be an 11 darter. It may be a 12.
36.
He has not had a great week on double top. There was even a period when he was practicing his 15 darts on the stage and all 15 darts are thrown at top. So he knows there's an issue there. He's going low, and then when he's trying to over-adjust and going big, double 10's been a saviour.
Deciding to split,
16.
and you can understand that with David Davis way back. Outside finishing range. Interestingly, Conor Scutt played the double start week here, didn't he? The first of our specials weeks at the Super Series, and he was not interested in double top to start legs. He was starting on double 17. Next door to this double.
Getting shot on the third leg.
Maybe that's an indication as to why.
Yeah, 29% on day 1, 23% on day 2 this week. He did get up to 30% yesterday. It has been his Achilles heel. His scoring power is there. He's the type of player that can really explode on the scene on Saturday night. But he'll want to tidy up
99.
that double, in particular, that double top.
That week, by the way, that David Davis ended up winning all his
93.
matches in Group B and then losing finals night. It was won by Chris Landman. Went on to get a tour card, of course.
And that was a classic Modus Super Series week. He never topped any charts, Chris Landman.
137.
But on the Saturday night, in the semi-finals, he come to the fore. I wouldn't say struggled, because Chris Landman's a really streaky player. He's incredibly quick.
92.
When he finds that range, he's so good. But it was that story of just keep fighting till then. Very reminiscent of Neil Duff last week. You know, these players now seem to know how to win at the Modus Super Series, and Scott Taylor pretty much dominated the week, but it's Neil Duff that took the spoils.
Connor Scutt himself did appear in that series after losing his tour card. He played in week 10, didn't get through Group C, which was something of a surprise. The 2 Yorkshiremen dominated the group, James Wilson and Tom Sykes.
Yeah, 2 good players. Tom Sykes is a phenomenal player.
He did then return, Scutt, for a double start, double finish, where he was a bit more effective.
96.
That was a Group B campaign, actually, for Connor. And he managed to make it through top of the table, dropping just 2 matches before
100.
finals night's defeats to Connor Scutt and Daryl Plugin. Well, that was reminiscent of the 127 in game from Paul Hinks, wasn't it? 140. Well, this might be 8 and 40 for David Davies to level the match. Double 10.
38.
Yeah, struggling David, isn't he?
116.
It'd be just typical of Davis night for Connor Scutt to ping this 116. Well, it's a perfect start. And that love affair with tops
10.
is just not there this week.
Game shot on the 4 flag.
Level
David
after
Davies.
4.
The flag Connor to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, all square. Connor Scutt won his opener against Llew Bevan. Andreas Harrysson beat David Davies,
93.
who will be determined to put that right. David Evans, a 4-1 victory against Bevan, who will be back until he meets Davies in Game 6 tonight. And I don't think either of those players
45.
can afford to lose the first 3.
82. $100.
Steady without being spectacular. Connor Scutt will feel he's the better player, but it's getting precariously close to a last leg decider.
59.
He just seems a little frustrated. He's trying to keep himself nice and calm. I expected a big performance here from Connor. I thought that first win, seeing himself sat at the top.
58. $85.
Well, he does need to find at least one more treble. And he's done that.
140.
Yeah, beautiful, well thrown last start. Just not the reward there. It looked all over a maximum. That's a bit of a...
50.
Yeah, they were just a little bit wild. The angles of them darts won't please Connor. Remember, he's on throw here. And for the first time tonight, David Davies is at favourite for this game. Treble 18 is the shot.
134.
Treble 18 is...
Connor Carr 132.
Is hit. It's going to have to be something special.
A champagne shot.
Pop the cork, maybe not. He can set it up, but a chance here for Davies.
David Carr 24.
Well, only one bullseye, so just Bucks fizz at the moment for Connor Scutt, but David Davies can leave him feeling flat
on the 5th leg. David
by
Davies.
breaking the throw, and suddenly the Welshman has the advantage in this game.
Yeah, this will be a
6
big
leg,
shock.
David to throw first.
Like I said, for the first match and for the first couple of legs in this one.
Game on.
Connor Scutt, 2 from 9 on the outer ring. And that second leg could come back and haunt him. Can Davies serve out for the match?
43.
You just see Connor Scutt. That's what you want to hear when you're one of those players who don't look at your opponents. To hear 43 when you need both the final legs.
16.
Doesn't capitalise. Difficult moments for Scutt.
$100. $97.
A golden nugget with the last dart. Just one treble.
He plays darts like a snooker player plays snooker, doesn't he, Connor Scutt? He's thinking 2, 3, 4 shots ahead.
And because of that fantastic board management there from Connor Scutt, that maximum there means it can get a finish. Just them finer things can be also make it also different.
Yeah, all the reds to leave the 164. Should be going for 19s here to ensure he leaves a finish. 16s would have worked as well. In fairness, would have left 170 with the single.
$43. David Carr 138.
To get his first 2 points of this campaign.
$98.
Wonderful setup play from David Davies. He's brought his averages up to the mid-80s. Connor Scutt needs something special.
93.
And that was almost it.
$40.
But David Davies ready to pick up some points. He has picked up his performance slightly from that opening match. And double top stands between him and his first 2 points of this campaign. Double 10.
Game shot of the match, David
Davies takes it. This is going to be one tight group. Connor Scutt goes down having won his first match. David Davies wins his second having lost his opener. 50% on the doubles, the difference there. Just 20% for Connor Scutt. He's going to have to sharpen up in that department. A nice 100 finish in there for Davies and 2 points in his pocket. 4 players now have 2 points, and one of them, in fact 2 of them, are about to go head-to-head next as Evans meets Harrysson.
And welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. It's Group B campaign time, and David Davies is up and running. A big win over Connor Scutt there. He seemed to find his game during that mid-match. Looked like a really disappointed Connor Scutt as he left the stage there, but he'll come back fighting, no doubt. But so far, that man retrieving his darts has been the player of the night after his opening game. He looked really sharp. Contrast to the man, Andreas Harrysson, who was a big favourite here at the MODUS Super Series now. He did get a win in his first game, but he was pretty disappointing. He's going to have to pick up that performance. But as we go into this game, it's first versus second.
Game on.
And all to play for. And it's Harrysson with the darts.
Yeah, there's every chance of being a really great game for you to watch live on the MODUS Super Series YouTube channel. If you are watching there, do feel free to get in touch via the chat. We're happy to answer your questions,
45.
read out your comments. We've got viewers watching far and wide around the world. One here from Shirley saying,
96.
hey, Duzzer and Chris, can you say hello to Shirley from upstate New York? But born in Colchester, hometown of
the legend of MODUS Super
100.
Series, Colin Lloyd.
Yeah, certainly. The best known darts person from there is Jaws.
59.
But great to know people are watching all around the world. Please do make sure you are subscribing as well.
99.
Come on, the U's.
The Who's?
140.
Yeah, you already sense this is a big game for qualification. I think we're 2 wins out of 2. Even if they win one more the next 2, they'll be feeling
100.
very comfortable for qualification. Just a reminder, Group B, 3 will qualify from these 5 players. Llew Bevan is the only player sat on 0 points, and he did have a fantastic start. He's very raw,
75.
very wild, very talented,
Andreas Car 157.
very reminiscent of Alex Small. But he'll need a win very, very soon. His next game in the All-Welsh Clash.
I'm just laughing at the chat room, actually.
91.
People expressing their
David
support
Carr,
for
131.
players. And one of them, obviously an Andreas Harrysson fan, simply says, go on, Dirty.
91. Andreas Car 66.
You sure that one's not for me?
Well, let's see if Dirty can go on.
There's only one route on 66 for Harrysson.
46. David Car 40.
Falls flat again on double top. Chance here for David Evans.
Yeah, he met a few dead ends in his opening match.
Getting
He
shot
still
on the
managed
first
to
leg.
win it, but David Evans, he hasn't looked like he's got any kind of trouble this evening.
Second leg, David to throw first. Game on.
Can you guys do a player giveaway to the chat? Which player would you like?
Inbox me, hun.
$140.
Well, there we get a board's eye view of what the board sees when the player is retrieving the darts. Paul Hinks giving a close inspection.
100.
Yeah, might need to be close again. I think them black darts and black stems and flights never help. Our fantastic referees here.
45.
At the beginning, there was obviously Paul Hinks this week at the beginning of the week from Colchester. We had Colin Lloyd, Owen Binks, sorry.
26.
Baffled I am with Andreas Harrysson. Baffled.
Yep, hasn't been his night at all.
59.
I think it's been one of those weeks where we haven't barely spoken about David Evans. Like I said, he's a former professional
81.
tour card holder. He's had real success here at the MODUS Super Series, but I think with other players being here this week, he's just gone under the radar slightly. And he started very, very nice here.
95.
He lived in a real hotbed of darts as well. He's in Preston, which is sort of between, say, where Dave Chisnell, Michael Smith, Luke Littler, Stephen Bunting. He's right in the middle, isn't he, of all those
114.
players. He's got excellent options for practice partners in that part of the world.
And I think he is a good sparring partner for. I know he did practice a lot with Stephen Bunting.
130.
He's one of those players who just loves darts. I think if you wanted someone to practice a couple of hours a day, David Evans is your man. He would test your game, that's for sure.
Well, he's the one that's making it look easy tonight. Out of all of the players in this group, he was one of the least spoken about. A little bit like Greg Ritchie this afternoon. David Evans is making it look a breeze.
Third leg, Andreas, to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, and David Evans will play 2 of the last 3 games as well, so I felt like the timetable of events tonight sort of suited him, but of course, reverse tomorrow. So he will play like a concentrated amount of games. He played 2 of the last 3 games tonight and 2 of the first 3 tomorrow. David Evans very quickly could secure his qualification. But at this precise moment, we still only played 1 game and 1 win. And you never write off Harrysson, who seems to have found his scoring boots in this leg.
Yeah, starting to warm up after what was sort of very cold play earlier this evening.
Colin Lloyd's favourite band.
171.
Well, he suddenly found some heat, hasn't he? Now, is Andreas Harrysson cheeky enough to go for the bull for a 10-darter?
Maybe not now. Evans is on a 1-2-1. What do I know?
He did go for it. It's the in thing, isn't it? If it's a 10-darter, there's an unwritten rule. You've got to go for the bullseye. And in the end, it didn't cost him because he cleaned up the remainder.
Throw first. Game
well,
on.
next time I'm on for a 10, I'll do that. What you sniggering at?
Yeah, well, I won't hold my breath. Well, it is one of the questions we do get asked quite often, Glenn. Any plans for you
100
to get back into competitive darts? Any more Super Series or seniors appearances?
I don't think so. They said the diary is busier now than I was when I was a dart player. I feel very happy, really happy with how my balance of life is at the moment. And I do have an exhibition next week in Essex. The week after I play with Michael van Gerwen in Alloa.
97.
I think I may have a seniors at the back end of the year. So I've still got targets to go for, but I won't lie. I'm very, very satisfied and happy in the comp seats.
100.
And a great addition to the airwaves as well, I'm sure everyone watching will agree. In fact, a few said that you were missed at the Premier League tonight, Glenn.
93.
I must admit, it is special. The one at Dublin last week, the noise was absolutely insane. But I'm very happy where I am right now and see some fantastic darts. The majority of that coming from this man in your picture right now.
You've started something as well, because we're also being asked now, is Colin Lloyd going to make an appearance at the Super Series?
139.
I did an exhibition with him in Germany last year. He doesn't want to play seniors. We didn't talk an awful lot about it, but he's still got a great game in him.
Former world number 1, no less, Colin Lloyd.
45. David Ducar, 72.
David Evans then looking to just restore order in this match after that brilliant leg of darts by his opponent. And he's completely unflustered. Calm, collected, quality.
Yeah, he ticks an awful lot of boxes, does David Evans, and I wasn't always happy with his preparation, and no doubt with his application, a hard-working player, David, but I always felt he wanted to be one of those ones he wanted everyone to be his mate type thing. I want to see him a little bit more of an individual and really focused on what you do best, David, because that throws dynamite.
85.
Andreas Harrysson played in fits and starts, isn't he?
Yeah, 122, 137 and 180. 9 of his last 12 darts, so it's in there.
96.
It's desperate to come out, but with David Evans just a leg away, is that a little too late.
140. $93. Andreas your car 44.
Double 16 then to clean it up.
28.
Thank you, Andrew, who says only catching Super Series for the first time this week, and what a treat to have two of the best on the mic calling the action. That's myself and Paul Hinks.
85. Andreas your car 16. $8. David your car 142.
Well, Andrew, you're watching Andreas Harrysson miss double after double. Not what I expected of. If it is your first time you've watched this week, what a way to finish.
122.
And that's the first time he's missed a dart at double, David Evans, in this game. When it was to win the game at the end of a brilliant combination.
Game shot on the fifth
Gets there in the end.
Harrysson.
It's a minor fist pump there from Dirty Harrysson. He's 2 from 9 on the outer rim, but we've had a match start in this game.
Throw first. Game on.
What David Evans must do in this situation is not look back, not go back to that double top. So we've talked an awful lot about the scoring power of plays tonight.
125.
But in the end, that statistic is so important. I have conversations / arguments about averages. If you look after that checkout ratio, your averages will look after themselves.
And it's not always how many you miss, but when you miss. And that one that David Evans did miss was the one that would have won him the match.
No, he says.
45.
'Cause you've got to grab this opportunity because this man can just ping a 180 from absolutely anywhere. A shake of the head there from Harrysson, something you never ever see.
140.
What a champion response.
Someone has asked on X
40.
what our ultimate Super Series week would be. Now, I think maybe what we can do, instead of answering that now, Glenn, is go away, write it down, and maybe get that recorded. We'll put it out on social media, get a few
100.
other people involved as well, see how they compare. So of all the eligible players, who would be your 12 for a week?
Well, I'll tell you what, 1 or 2 of them are in next week as well. That's how good the players are.
58.
I think we'll be making the announcement, MODUS Super Series, about the players next week. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah, make sure you stay tuned. That's coming up after this match.
100.
Harrysson definitely speeding up, and that seems to be suiting him. Was that missed start a double? Is it lingering in the thoughts of David Evans?
139.
Fabulous setup again for Evans. 101 for Harrysson. Remember, he's been second best in this match. But if this top scores,
61.
he would have become favourite for the match because he would have the darts if we go the distance. Options on the 94 finish. Great dart. 44. Second match dart. This time double 16.
62. Andreas your car 40.
Double 10 to keep the game going. Can he use that?
20.
He hasn't, and he now
David
may
O'Connor,
well
32.
lose the match.
Just too many mistakes from Andreas Harrysson in this Group B campaign. David Evans has been solid. He's averaging over 96 going into this, but that's his third match dart. Is he getting the collie wobbles?
28.
Didn't miss a
Andreas your car
dart.
20.
3 from 3 he was until he had a match dart. Now he's missed 5 darts at double, all of them to win the game. And Andreas Harrysson punishes him. And not only does he win the leg, he breaks the throw and suddenly has the serve.
7th and final leg, Andreas to throw first. Game on.
This is battle of first versus second in the early stages of this Group B. The winner of this leg goes top of the table with 2 wins out of 2. Harrysson has been
60.
second best. Evans has spurned a few match darts now.
Well, there's almost 10 points in the averages in Evans' favour. Harrysson hasn't played anywhere near his best
59.
tonight, anywhere near the form he had in Group A this week. Yeah, he might be getting 2 wins from 2.
That sounds very reminiscent of Mike Warburton's
60.
Group C campaign today.
All comes down to a solitary leg. Can Evans find one of those maximums? He produced 3 of them in his first match, but
134.
yet to conjure one up in this game.
Just keeping his nose in front is Evans. I
35.
think like many of us, many on the chat room as well, there's lots of fans for Andreas were waiting for him to kick in. It just doesn't seem to be happening. The deserved winner of this match is David Evans. He can't seem to get over the line.
126.
However, with darts like that, once again, he's put himself in a terrific position and nothing Harrysson can do, even with a maximum.
Yep. He just wants to get the chance to put it right,
100.
David Evans, after missing those 5-match darts. Could have won the game 4-1, could have won it 4-2, may yet win it 4-3.
89.
Again, wonderful last start there. He is seeing that winning line as David Evans. Nothing at all coming back from Harrysson. He hates that dart above the treble 20, remember. Another one needed.
96. David Ducan, 93.
I think that means Evans can be bold on the treble 19 with your opponent on 150. Boldy here is double 18. Well, he get there in the end once again. David Evans was much the better player in that match. However, just as he was trying to get that winning match start, but nothing at all Andreas Harrysson can do. He is not at his brilliant best tonight. And David Evans, a cool, calm and collected 95.15. He's been the best player in this Group B in the early stages, and a mighty fine win. 2 from 2 from Evans. As we move on to the next game, so in all Welsh class, it's Llew Bevan against David Davies.
Halfway through this evening's action here at the MODUS Super Series, Group B underway, and here is what has happened so far. And Glenn, It's been one of those nights, hasn't it, where it's been a little bit unpredictable. Llew Bevan has looked like a very decent player on his debut, but has lost both of his games. Andreas Harrysson hasn't really been at the races, but does have a win. But David Evans has been the standout player.
Yeah, it's been an unpredictable week, and today's been no different whatsoever. Scutt was tremendous in the first game. They struggled in the second one. Consistency's been the key. David Evans ticks that box.
Yeah, well, let's talk about each player, sort of player by player. And Evans standing tall, top of the table, looking good.
And the one thing is that we haven't spoken about him this week. You know, a lot of the talk's been about the Ashley Colemans, the Leonard Gateses, the Connor Scutts of this world, and he's just gone under the radar. And David Evans is a mighty fine player, and 2 out of 2, and he looks good. That 95 average seemed quite comfortable, so he has that A game about him. I've been following him this year, and he's posting some good stuff, and maybe this week's the moment to really motivate David Evans and maybe the next phase of his career as well. So great start.
The two players that were really fancied were the two that came in from Group A. Andreas Harrysson in particular, with what he did earlier in the week, a stunning 117 average. He managed to grind out a win. That might be very precious because he doesn't look at it tonight.
I just can't believe what's gone on ever since that 117. It was something very noticeable. Like I say, really clinical here in the end, but it was one of the few highlights of that game. It was a really poor game without being too sort of severe on the two players, and I did fear for David Davies at that point.
What of Connor Scutt this evening? What have you made of him?
Good scoring once again. He's having real problems with double tops this week, and it ain't been his friend again at all today, but it was a beautiful opening game. I thought we were in for a real treat. This 1-2-6 on the bullseye as well. He's got all the tools that he requires, Connor Scutt, but right now his doubles are letting him down.
David Davies, in his first match, he was nothing like what he was like when he was in that group that you were in. He won every single match in Group B. But then did come back strongly in his second.
Yeah, and his body language, he always exuded a bit of confidence. And of course, when you're winning 8 out of 8 in that week, you're going to do that as well. He just doesn't have that firepower like a Connor Scutt, like a David Evans, like an Andreas Harrysson. So, you know, he hasn't got that sort of consistency. He's going to be that grinder role. He's going to be hard to beat. He dictates the pace. It was a good win in the end for him because he wasn't looking good all night.
Right, let's have a look at the league table then. And just show you where things are after a couple of games. I'm going to ask you about the man at the bottom because he's the only one we haven't discussed. No points, but what have you made of Llew Bevan, and do you think he still has a chance?
Very raw, very talented, very young. Will learn an awful lot, and it is his words. You know, he's here. He's going to just enjoy the experience type thing. I wanted him to say, "I'm going to come and I'm going to win this," but I think he'll learn about himself. I've seen the best and the worst from him. It was like I said, it was a stunning first game, but the darts going in some incredible angles because of the way he plays. Like I say, very reminiscent of Alex Small, who's been successful here before. Still, you know, he'll be in it, and that's that type of game where in the firepower, we're expecting him to get off the mark very soon.
Right, exciting time now. Glenn, you've had a sneak peek at this. I'm going to let you react. This is the lineup for next week here at the Super Series. Glenn, talk us through it. What do you make of that?
I think it's fantastic. Tom Sykes was, you know, from Yorkshire, was supreme in the Series 6. He was great. It was good for him. Darryl Pilgrim, the best player at MODUS Super Series I've ever seen. Reece Colley's getting better. Steve Johnson, Scotland, tremendous. Jimmy Van Schie, who an awful lot of people were saying don't write him off, he's very good. Damien Mull, fresh from being a Pro Tour player. Kirk Parry, one of the nicest throws, very reminiscent of the David Evans and very much of Mike Warpen. Paul Hogan, terrific player. The legend that is Martin Adams. Nick Fulwell, fresh from the Pro Tour as well. Dave Gladley from Yorkshire, incredible player. Matt Castle, what a lineup.
I just want to pick out one name, and it's a real sort of pathway for people to follow. Tom Sykes got through an ADC qualifier, so wouldn't probably have been invited normally to the MODUS Super Series. Came, didn't perform that well his first time. The second time he did it, managed to win his week. Then he gets to the final of Champions Week. Now he'll be a shoo-in for an invite for a few series to come at least, won't he?
I think I'm in a group saying Tom Sykes for England because he's been terrific for Yorkshire County for a long, long time and just seems to be getting overlooked for the England national team. But to see him playing at the MODUS Super Series wasn't a shock for many of us there. And like I said, he's got incredible firepower, and he'll go into that as one of the big favourites, but one of the best Group A's, if not the best I've ever seen. There's not a weak link.
No, he has a running average of over 91, but himself, Colley and Pilgrim have all won weeks here.
Wow, what a group. That Group A, stunner.
Yeah, and what a group this is turning out to be in Group B. It's all about getting through to finals now on Saturday. 3 players from this group will make it through, and you could be there on any Saturday night here at the MODUS Super Series. Yeah, get your tickets. Come on down to the Super Series. The doors are open on Saturday nights. It's only a £2 booking fee, and you could be there, front row seat, watching some top quality players do their thing. And who knows, you might see something special. There are people who now walk around Portsmouth and neighbouring areas saying, I saw Luke Littler before you knew who Luke Littler was. Maybe the next one will be unearthed here at the Super Series sometime soon. And one player who maybe not many knew too much about before tonight was a certain Llew Bevan.
Clouded through first. Game on.
And he is about to get his action underway in this Welsh darting derby against Davies. What have you made of Llew and the whole so far? We just had a little chat about him, but his playing style, everything about him, do you think that it's conducive to a long and fruitful career?
Yeah, very raw, isn't he? I mean, it's the way some of the angles of them darts are going in there. There's still a long way. Yeah, super talented. The only thing I've heard is good things about him, but a different challenge here, Chris. The more methodical pace there of David Davies. You can see that Lew's desperate to get to the hockey, and yeah, let's see how he reacts to this. It's, I wouldn't say tortoise and hare, because Davies not that slow. He's just the methodical player of this group.
100.
Yeah, it's a steady pace of play, isn't it, from David Davies, but it's his own rhythm. That's the important thing. Every dart is delivered at exactly the same pace.
83.
Yeah, just a little bit of reaction. But I do think Bevan goes into this game thinking he can win this. I think he'll see this as his real opportunity to get his first 2 points on the board. But in that chat room, please,
100.
some reaction to next week, because yeah, I was blown away when I seen those names. It's going to be a real tough one. The Tom Sykes, Darryl Pilgrim in Group A together.
60.
Dave Ladley was very kind to send me a copy of his autobiography. I will be bringing that into the commentary box next week to read a few excerpts out from.
84.
Yeah, my favourite Dave Ladley story is I was desperate to win the British Open at Bridlington. Desperate. I took an incredible amount of people. There was over 100 T-siders that used to follow. I just couldn't get over the winning line. And I drew Dave Ladley in a prelim. And I read on social media in the morning, can't be bothered going to Bridlington. I was like, get in there. And I get there, and he decides to turn up last second. And shaking like a leaf, and he beat me 4-3. I was gutted.
Oh, great darts. Great finish. As Bevan announces himself here at the MODUS Super Series with a stunning 140 checkout.
And Bevan has the credentials and characteristics that in a Saturday night, he can be that explosive. He could be the type of player to excel. Whereas David Davies, you pretty much know what you're going to get from every game. Just tough and rugged and grinding out results. Real enjoyable player to see. And look at them flying now.
140.
Well, it's back-to-back 140s. One to finish, one to start. The Welshman in the week next week will be Kurt Parry, who, of course, last year won the Red Dragon Champion of Champions event.
Yeah, another dynamite throw.
100.
Oh, Scotty Mitchell in the chat room. Nothing wrong with being methodical, Glenn lad.
97.
I think there's a really interesting dynamic to that group that Kurt Parry's in. Of course, depending on who joins him in Group B, but Paul Hogan and Martin Adams both in that group as well.
Yes, I had some lakeside battles with them. Well, great to see.
97.
Scotty, hope you're well, my friend. I was just saying to Chris, when we'll be working together again.
121.
Well, a few people are getting in touch with your question, saying who they might fancy next week. Fulwell or Hogan could take it. One person is talking about. But Reece Colley due a win. Well, he did win last time he was here, so I don't know how due you have to be.
Yeah, Nick Fulwell would be a nice story. Had a torrid time at the end of the Pro Tour. And has only kicked into the seniors.
93.
And looking good about his game again. Top guy he is. All going to plan for Bevan.
Now, you don't go for 50 for a 13 darter. That would be silly. You don't go for the bullseye on that. You just play it straight.
100. Claudio Carr, 50.
No, he's desperate for 2 points. He won't even consider the bull. Big 18, double 16.
34. David Ducar, 100.
Seen David Davis take this out already tonight. 20 and tops.
I think he'll definitely do that. And if I remember rightly, he moved over that time. Pings the first.
60.
But
Claudio
not
Carr,
the second.
16. $14.
I think I've just worked out who he's reminded me of all night, the way the dart's going, and it's Keane Barry.
I see what you mean.
Game shot on the second leg. David Davis.
All square.
Just seems to hang in there, doesn't he, David?
Third leg.
In other words, don't give him a chance. Bevan has dominated this match. However, the score is 1-1.
180.
Well, how he wishes that he'd been that accurate on the doubles in the previous leg. Llew Bevan missed 5 darts at the outer ring.
100.
Yeah, every time I sort of look in David Davis games at the averages, he seems to be 10 or 15 points behind. Well, he did promise me 2. I was trying to talk over that.
I was getting excited, Glenn, because that first start was bottom of that treble 20 bed. I thought that a second successive 180 was almost inevitable.
58. $59.
I was about to say, even a maximum 180 won't leave him a finish, but what it does is bring him right back in this match. A classic example of never give up in a leg. Llew Bevan 190 points ahead, and all of a sudden David Davis is now in front in here. If he can find a treble.
56.
Sensible play though. Would have left a 2-darter. There's a 140 finish in the first leg. It's not to be here.
65. David Ducar 107.
107 then for David Davies to turn this tie on its head after that stunning start from Bevan.
He's the type of player that these types of finishes, you just expect them to go with him. He really is taking his time with this one. He knows the importance of it. It's a breaker throw, remember. Double 10.
97. Cloud Ducar 76.
Double 14 is his choice. He thought it was in. Now, can he use that dart? Can he use that dart?
48.
Clicked off the wrong side of it.
David Ducar 10.
Wanted to stack it on top.
Getting shot on the third leg, David Davis.
He does look so solid on the doubles, doesn't he, David?
Fourth leg, David, you throw first.
And in the in-play table, David Davis has gone into second place. If he can get over the line in this match, that's where he would sit there. David Evans has been the star performer so far. But David Davis has showed all the characteristics of somebody
134.
who's scrapping away, knowing that he's never going to outscore his opponent. Like I said, it's very wild, as we've said, is Bevan.
51.
Whereas the consistency has been the key so far tonight for Davies.
I made a prediction earlier that I didn't think any player would end up with no points tonight, but if Llew Bevan does lose this game, then he would have to beat Andreas Harrysson for that to come true.
100.
Yeah, good moments here for Davies. Scores a 134, 125, 100 ahead plus these.
Well, this is Paul Nicholson's favourite way to win a leg, 350 and 6. It's not going to happen.
100.
Sit back on your sofa, Paul.
Yeah, frustrating last dart there from Bevan, wasn't it? And David Davies will just go through his same routine every single time. Can he find that treble? May use the centre of the board again. He
65.
does. We'd be expecting at least a dart and a double to take a 3-1 lead.
100. David Ducar 77.
He'll start on the 19s. Pings the 19s. Double 10. We'll see how solid he is on his doubles. He's hit double 5 already tonight.
67. Cloud Ducar 150. $41. David Ducar 10. Getting shot on the fourth leg, David Davis.
He finds it here for a 3-1 lead.
Fifth leg, Cloud to throw first, game on.
8 darts missed at double by this man in this game.
Yeah, good shout from
45.
Hendy on the chat room. I was thinking more Robert Owen the way the darts are going in for Llew Bevan.
Also seen Shirley over in New York from Colchester getting in touch again after we mentioned
99.
Colin Lloyd. She says at least Colchester's famous for something, and it's certainly not football. Bobby George, she says.
25.
Durrant is so much nicer than Matthew
100.
Edgar.
Didn't
It's my
see.
favourite. I'll pin that one.
Didn't see that one.
Well, it said Chris Mason, but I'm a bit scared of Chris, so I think I can beat up Matthew
45.
Edgar. Now, I would get me darts out again to play Matthew Edgar on that MODUS Super Series stage, that's for certain. Give me 2 days practice. I'll beat the Faroes Islands semi-finalist with ease.
Gauntlet laid down. Now there we see the angle of entry, and that's very inviting.
100.
Some stacking from Llew Bevan.
Yeah, top stacking. We can't finish on 186 of David Davis, quite simply 206. And these are the type of routines that these players do for moments like this. And almost the perfect setup. David Davis is 2 darts away from a big victory.
Yeah, it'll be turning into a good night.
128.
For David Davis, a darter from Denby.
So he's going to get a dart for the match. He'll go down to 16s and 8 bet. It's double top. Does he have to move? Just a touch, but he's done this before. And he knows where that tops is.
28.
Just on the wire. He thought that was in.
$18.
It was always going to be difficult. Dangling down over double top.
He will take his time. He'll go through his routine. He'll get his balance. Look at him. Look at those eyes. Not off the desired target. Perfect marker, Shuley. Can he kiss it off that? Shuley now. And he gets there in the end. David Davis, who's had an interesting start to this Group E campaign. But after 3 games, it's 2 wins out of 3. And his campaign is virtually up and running now. Whereas for Llew Bevan, that's 3 losses out of 3 games. He looked a little disappointed, but he'll look at that checkout ratio and know where he went wrong. 1 from 11, considering he had that fantastic start in the opening leg of a 140 finish. But it's David Davies that gets over the line. Big game coming up next. They've met already 4 times this week. It's Scutt against Andreas Harrysson. And welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. That's the side on view of a match now between Connor Scutt and Andreas Harrysson. Both players were in Group A together, so they'll know the strengths and weaknesses. And I think Connor Scutt will realise that Andreas Harrysson is not at his best. And for Connor Scutt, quite simply, can he find a way of checking out on games? He should have won his second game against Davies. So that puts extra pressure on this match. And for me, I'm just waiting for Andreas to find the type of form we know he's in. But I've been waiting and waiting. But this still is very much a 50-50 game.
First leg, Connor did throw first. Game on.
So Sniper takes on Dirty Harrysson. The match before the night started would have been one to salivate over, but the way it's gone for the pair of them, you're not so sure. David Evans has been a standout player in the group. David Davies has also got 2 wins, albeit from 3 matches, and that pair will go head-to-head after this match.
Yeah, they've played 3 times this week, Scutt and Harrysson, and it's 2-1 to Scutt. It was a big 4-0 victory from yesterday as well. I'm wondering if that's just on his mind. As he went to the hockey against Andreas.
125.
Should be able to find at least 1 treble from that marker.
100.
And does that.
Dare I say, I'd fear for Connor Scutt if he doesn't get over the line in this match. All of a sudden, he's got only the 1 win in his first 3 games.
95.
He's had a mixed bag, hasn't he, since returning to the Super Series after that 2-year stint on the Pro Tour. Connor Scutt.
100.
1 Group C failure, 1 finals night at the double start week, and then scrapping in Group B this evening.
121. Connor Carr, 170. $134. Andreas Carr, 100.
Nice setup. May look at tops. That was the intention, but it could not be executed.
60. Connor Carr, 36.
I actually prefer him more on this double 18.
$8.
His problems continue there.
40.
Wire just seems to happen when things aren't going your way.
Shot on the first leg. Andreas
Once again, that will hurt Connor Scutt. Just to remind, it was a straightforward win for Connor against Andreas yesterday, 4-0. And like I said, missed out a double 18, crept into the double 14, a double he likes. And both just peppered that wire.
100.
Someone asking, has Jason Lowe played at the Super Series or the online league? I can't recall Jason Lowe appearing.
139.
Great shout, by the way. What a player he was. He is. On that couple of years on the Pro Tour.
140.
Yeah, we'd often sit with Wayne Jones and Alan Tabban.
140. $140.
Harrysson down to 1-2-1 as he looks to double his lead in this potentially crucial contest. It may be one they look back at tomorrow 85. And think that was the moment it got away in Group B.
Yeah, good shout, Murph.
$41. Connor Carr, 137.
Start on the 19s. Seems to be tops. I was about to say can't hit it once.
97.
Andreas he can hit it once, but he can't hit it when it's the one to win the leg. He's 0 from 4 on leg-winning doubles.
Game shot on the
and Andreas Harrysson is 2 from 2.
Third leg corner to throw first. Game on.
He's been very, very busy as Connor Scutt on the back of a week at Challenge Tour in
135.
Hildesheim, Germany. And while he was over there, he got the invite to play in the Players' Championships as well. Straight on the MODUS Super Series. But he's a
45.
fit lad who just loves playing darts, and I don't think fatigue's an issue. I think he's a very honest individual, as Connor. And it'd be great to get his take
58.
on how he was feeling roundabout now, because I felt after that opening game of the night he had the control of the group. And then that incredibly disappointing defeat to David Davies. And this one not
100.
going his way either. It means his final game of the night is a really important one, and it's a very tough one. Last game of the night, and David Evans.
124. $100.
Well, I'd like to hear that Connor Scutt will have the deficit. I say that. But he hasn't had the greatest night on doubles, has he?
60. Connor Car 84.
Could start Bull. Now he goes the conventional route.
Being shot on the third leg. Connor Scutt.
Something that some players do sometimes when their opponent's not on a finish. And he does have a penchant for double
Fourth leg
17.
Andreas to throw first. Game on.
But he hasn't been really attracted to any double tonight, so that will be a nice feeding for him to get rid of 1 in 2 darts like that.
Yeah, it was an 80 finish in the second leg for Andreas
81.
Harrysson, nice and crisp. And a nice 84 finish there for Connor Scutt. And he is one of those players, isn't he? We say 2-0 down, we're talking about him having a difficult night.
100.
And literally 2 or 3 minutes later, it could be 2-2.
$100.
Well, you promised me.
171.
Wow.
I tell you what, there's a chance here that he could go for 3 bullseyes. Connor Scutt is a maverick kind of darts player. There has been a 9-darter already today.
140. Connor
This
Car
could be
150.
the most incredible one you've ever seen. And it's not going to happen.
I mean, we all knew. I'm not
43.
going to criticise or anything, because he told us before if he ever gets to a 9-darter, is it 180, 171? He has a perfect way he wants to
That's
do it. isn't
what. Yeah, well, that's the way he did it there. But he was even trying
107.
to do an incredible 9-darter in the double start week. We'll come to that in a moment.
How many times this week has he missed the big number,
75.
Connor Scutt?
Andreas Car 40.
But is this a lesson learned about the 3 bulls?
on the fourth
Andreas
leg.
Harrysson,
Andreas Harrysson.
13-darter. And how many times do we see when an opponent is on a 9-darter, they lose the leg?
This
Has
leg
he
Connor
just
to
been
throw first.
distracted
Game
by
on.
that thing in his mind that he wants to do a 9-dart finish on 3 bullseyes? Has that cost him the leg?
81.
Will it cost him the match, potentially?
That's a question you're asking Boren. Boren does, so you probably know the answer to that.
It's a really high standard match, as you can see.
60.
Connor Scutt actually with the slightly higher average despite the 3-1 deficit in the game.
77.
I think that's his first bounce out of the night, but certainly not his first of the week. He went through a phase on Tuesday when it was just bouncing out simply every throw he was doing.
60.
Yeah, in that double start week, he was starting on double 17, largely because he wanted to do a 9-darter in a way that nobody
100.
else had ever done it.
Was he pinging the double 17 as well, was he?
Yeah, he was doing all right. There was a couple of times he started perfectly, trying
100.
to start with the 154. I do find that double start fascinating.
99.
I do think that there are going to be players at the Grand Prix, and if we have another double start week here, that will change their tact based on what their opponent does. But no one really seems to have done that in the past.
100.
But if
Connor Car
you're a double
144.
16 starter, Glenn, and your opponent gets off perfectly, really you've got to go for tops, haven't you?
You don't think like that when you're up there, let me add.
100.
I remember playing Chesney in the semi, who started so many times, 116, I was still going the 16 route.
They hit 160 and you go the 16 route. You're giving them 9 darts from 3-4-1, guaranteed whatever you hit.
Is this the conclusion of this match? And the reason being, didn't have that much faith of Connor Scutt hitting that double. However, fair play to him. The trials and tribulations he's having on the doubles. Once again, just goes back, and for the first time, he wants to hear a treble score from Andreas Harrysson.
I have to say, we did talk about Jared Cole having that moment to savour with his 9-dart finish. Had that been pulled off by Connor Scutt, then that's there in the darting history books, isn't it?
Yeah, you fancied that 9-darter.
Yeah, 10 have been hit here at the live lounge at the MODUS Super Series. And do you know what, Glenn? That's the first one that I've been sat in the commentary books for.
I should have let you call it rather than talk about salmon.
60.
Yeah, I can't complain this week. A mixture of tension and tight games, but the brilliance also of monster averages, and that 9-darter was
134.
brilliant. But again, the introduction of Ashley, I can't wait for tomorrow's Group C as well. It was a fascinating afternoon, I have to say.
It's going to be a close run thing as well. Remember, 3 players tied on 8 points, only 2 go through, and this group is looking pretty close as well.
If Harrysson does get over the line here, 3 players
90.
on 4 points.
141.
But still advantage Evans.
Treble 15 will be the target for Andreas Harrysson, who hit a 9-darter with a 1-4-1 going that route.
This treble 14 or bullseye has to go. Right decision, poor execution. You can see what he thinks of that. Been waiting for a real top performance from Andreas Harrysson. He's double 18 away from that.
Looking to use it. And he gets there in the end. It has been an effort tonight from Andreas Harrysson, but that was much more like it. Connor Scutt put up a good fight in that game, and at one point he was on the brink of producing maybe the most special leg of darts we've ever witnessed here at the MODUS Super Series. Teed up a potential 9-dart leg, left 150, went for 3 bulls. It didn't work out for Connor Scutt, lost the leg, lost the match. Andreas Harrysson wins it 4-2 and takes his points tally to 4, where he joins David Evans and David Davies, who play next.
And welcome back to the MODUS Super Series. And we've been waiting for a good performance from Andreas Harrysson. And we've just witnessed exactly that. Was an enthralling encounter against Connor Scutt. And the Super Swede is beginning to look good. Well, that man in your picture, David Evans, who's just walking behind David Davies, has been superb so far. 2 wins out of 2. Whereas David Davies at times has had a bit of a charmed life, but that's the type of personality and player that he is. He'll fight all the way to that final double, and he's also won 2 matches out of his 3. So it's a top-of-the-table clash, and I just think the winner of this game, you get the 6 points, and you really do start thinking about qualification. Evans is on for the perfect 4 wins out of 4, of course. He'll fancy his chances here, but let's give some credit to this man throwing his darts now. He will fight all the way.
Yeah, 8 points is usually enough, although there have been a couple of occasions where a player's missed out on 8 points in Group B. 10 points has never not been enough, and 12 points always guarantees you. So, as you say, getting to 6 points on your opening night, you're pretty much crawling towards a checkered flag in need of just one more win the next evening.
Yeah, there's that narrative as well that the players do talk about it backstage. I was really, really surprised about that. I was fascinated when I heard Matthew Edgar talk an awful lot of how he used that back room as a real strategy is to take on players and put negatives into players' minds. And like I said, David Evans is the type of player I believe will be looking at tables when, in reality, all he has to do is focus on his game, because looks like he's got the all-round game for qualification on Saturday night, and it's time for David Evans to come to Champions League party.
A lot of people are suggesting they think David Evans will win this darts match, but David Davies has ideas of his own. Yeah, the chat room, lots of support for Evans, saying he's been too good on doubles tonight. He just looks assured.
57.
Yeah, part of me also thinks I don't think we'll get the credit where credit deserves for David Davies. Like I said, he's was averaging low, sort of 60s, 70s, but he's found ways of winning games, and all of a sudden he is finding that treble 20 more regular now.
Might have just opened the door for David Evans, though, with a couple of stray ones.
$43. David Ducar, 113.
Treble 18's the shot.
Did actually see David Evans miss 1-4-2 for the match in his previous game. Went on to win it, of course. Treble 17 twice and then tops. There's 1. There's 2. But again, tops is just beyond him.
80.
Yeah, I went back to that word you used in the chat room. He looks at Stewart with those 2 treble 17s going in. I thought the tops was a formality, but this is what Davies does. He's just biting at the ankles. 1 dart at tops.
Game shot on the first leg. David Davies.
And that trend continues. Fair play to him. Like I said, I pretty much wrote him off after a game and a half.
David Evans to throw first. Game
but
on.
He's demonstrated all them qualities that got him to win 8 out of 8 the last time he was in a Group B campaign. And David Evans looks a little shell-shocked at that.
57.
Yeah, it's been a big day of darts today. Double session here at the MODUS Super Series as always.
95.
You'll get the same again tomorrow. Ashley Coleman living up to the billing after all of the clamour to get him here. He really did
97.
Perform on his debut. 4 out of 5. Greg Ritchie also with that amount in Group C, and Mike Warburton winning 4 out of 5. So 3 players go into the final day of action on 8
60.
points. 2 go through, and the action resumes at 1 p.m. Do not miss it.
Yeah, numbers we haven't seen at the MODUS Super Series. 4,500 people watching at one point with Ashley Coleman playing that.
100.
Hopefully you're all back tomorrow. He came up with some fantastic thoughts throughout the day on the chat room as well. Nothing was nasty. There was no name calling or anything. It was really constructive. It was a great afternoon chatting with you all. And again, we've still got our dedicated people watching right now. And if there's any thoughts of how today's been, let us know.
Yep, I get the sense we've got the silk
58.
pyjamas brigade in the chat room today rather than the Spider-Man. It's been a pleasure to share the Arrows action with you guys, and we do appreciate every single view,
60.
every single comment, every single question. Keep them coming, and while you are here, please make sure you have subscribed.
$134.
Yeah, leaves a 2 darter. Going with throw so far. Hope over expectation for David Davies in this position. Every dart is thrown though. He doesn't throw a dart away. He just makes David Evans wait for this 55 finish. Did it work?
Well, it was interesting, wasn't it? Single 13 would have left 170. Doesn't matter. Evans levels at 1 apiece.
Third leg, David Davies to throw first. Game on.
Paul Hinks, the referee, after giving it the full name in this match. Of course, it is a David Darts Derby. Evans, one of the most popular names for darters, isn't it? We've got Ricky and Lee in the PDC. PDC darts, of course, tonight. Luke Littler crowned a Premier League winner for the first time in his career, getting the better of Nathan Aspinall in Belfast. Beating Michael Van Gerwen and Luke Humphries on the way as well. That is a well-earned win, isn't it?
Yeah, I think with Luke Littler as well, the way that he's often tweeted about the MODUS Super Series as well, I think he sees that that was a real important base for for where he wanted to go with his professional career. And we often put the advert up of him looking up with that trophy in the air, and isn't it wonderful to see where he's going now? Hot property.
The first thing it says on his Twitter bio is 2-time back-to-back MODUS Super Series champion. Something he's very proud of. He had 181 followers when he first joined us here. He's now got 181,000.
125. David Carr, 170.
I think it's over 1 million on Instagram now, isn't it? As Davis looks at the big fish. We've seen it twice already this week. Such a good marker. He decides to stay on the 20 bed there.
85. David Carr, 145.
I'm going to take this out. David Davies in that kind of position that we saw him win his previous leg. That was a straight 80, this time 85.
105. David Carr, 85.
Yeah, stunning 2 darts there from David Evans. This 85 was looking inviting a second ago. Now it's a must hit. Remember, it's going with throw so far. This bullseye to continue that.
60.
Chance for David Evans.
Carr, 40.
Doesn't have many wayward darts, David Davies, but this game could be getting away from him here. Evans breaks the throw.
Yeah, and credit to the people watching on our chat room as well. Before a dart was thrown, they just felt that the assuredness of the doubles of David Evans will be enough to get him over the winning line. So far, so good.
Just 2 games left after this. This is David Davies' last appearance
44.
of the night. Andreas Harrysson will take on Llew Bevan in the penultimate battle. And then David Evans will return, potentially looking for a clean sweep when he faces Connor Scutt.
134.
Yeah, I won't lie, Chris. I'm disappointed that I won't be here on Saturday night when that first dart was thrown by Connor Scutt on Monday. It's a great feeling to see the champion as the players evolve throughout the week. But it's just warmed up nicely. You just begin to see which players are going to qualify for Saturday night. But whatever 6 it will be, it's going to be a beauty.
Yeah, we've got Scott Mitchell stepping in.
135.
A sub for Glenn Durrant. We will always bring you a top quality analyst, and we've got another
134.
fellow Lakeside World Champion.
Yeah, my Saturday nights these days, Chris, I've had a nice little garden room built. We sit in there, we watch the MODUS Super Series. So this time I'm at a family park
42.
in Scarborough, or Filey, one of them two anyway. I think we'll be seeing this man here on Saturday night.
You'll still be watching, right?
Definitely.
Come and join us in the chat room,
42.
Glenn.
I keep getting picked on by Patrick Poppington, so I'll leave it.
David Ducal, 147.
147 then for David Evans. It's been a familiar story, this match, hasn't it? David Davis left
57.
on these kinds of finishes at
David Ducal,
80,
90.
85, 90.
But it's a danger to leave this man on this type of finish. I think the other players can outscore him. But when it gets to this phase of the game, he's normally... I never like that as a response. Am I being an old fuddy-duddy again?
82. David
Well, yeah,
Ducal,
some say
90.
that your opponent can feed off that. Let's see if that rings true here. He's offered the hors d'oeuvre for David Evans to tuck into.
65.
That would have been sweet.
David Ducal, 8.
Yeah, well thrown dart. Opportunity now for Davies to go level after 4 legs. Once again, takes his time. Look at the eyes. Total focus on the desired target. Down to the 2, chattering away to himself. Now it gets a little bit nervy. All of a sudden you can just see the little movement in the body there.
No score. David
Chance
Ducal,
for Evans.
25.
Yeah, he now gets the opportunity to get a real vice-like grip on this match.
Getting shot on the 4th leg. David
Stranglehold for Stretch Evans, who stretches his lead to 3-1.
And once again,
Fifth leg,
credit
David
to the
Davis
chat
to throw
room.
first.
I think
Game
they
on.
pretty much nailed this game. Doubles could be the difference. And David Evans doesn't look like missing one right now. Deep in concentration. He's the one who could finish this match. 3 wins out of 3.
He said, credit to the chat room, just
81.
after someone asked, is Glenn Durrant the GOAT of North East darts?
I still have the King of the North trophy. So I'm still going to say yes. First round, 32 players. First round done. The draw came
45.
out. Great players. Every game was great players. Glenn Durrant versus Chris Dobie. First man. Smashed him. Second round, Ryan Joyce smashed him. Third round, Adam Hunt. I played a Yorkshireman in the final. My mind's gone blank. Not Peter Jakes. Someone
43.
similar like that. But brilliant night. I have the trophy. So yes, I'm still King of the North.
Terry Temple?
Yes. I played lovely in that.
Well, there is one person who's
60.
not quite happy with us in the commentary box, Glenn. That's Lee, and he's asked to get Henry Deacon and Corin Hammond back.
I have a feeling Lee is Henry Deacon. Do you?
38.
Well, I will tell you the power of the chat room, because earlier this week you may remember that we said 50, I love Henry Deacons, and he would get
96.
the sack from MODUS Super Series. And you haven't seen him today, have you?
So well done. We've got the bunting out here. No more Henry.
$137.
Well, David Davis again still plucking
59.
away. Won't just let Evans have this.
No, definitely not. Like I say, his biggest attribute is that fighting mentality. Something I like about David's game.
65.
Still yet to be convinced, though, Chris, that he has that 105, 110 average in him to... I think you need that brilliance on a Saturday night as well. Consistency can win here, but I think that's the next
100.
phase for David Davies as he progresses as a dart player. Is it the treble 19 start?
Decided against it. Maybe the fact that Evans himself is on a big one, but he's more than capable. 141. Treble 20 for starters. Can't find it, so Davies will return.
$65. David Carr, 44.
Goes the Motown way, 4 tops.
Game shot on the 5th leg, Davies.
And the game goes on.
You didn't tell me the name of
Six
Dozer
leg,
is the
David
goat
Evans
of
to throw
Northeast
first.
has
Game
been Chris Bradley. He's actually been nice for now, so I'll leave him alone, but I've blocked him on everything else. Hope you're well, Chris.
140.
Good start from Evans. Just doing enough in this match, isn't he? He'd be delighted when he hears that, Scott. You can just see him. He went to walk and stopped then thinking, right, I've got this game in the palm of my hand now. Let's just keep it nice and simple, nice and straight. 1 treble every single time. Come on, he says.
60.
Really needs some reparation work here after that slack first visit. David Davies has to find a second treble, you would feel.
100.
Can't quite manage it, so it's advantage Evans.
$140.
Yeah, yet to hit a 180 in this match, David Evans. However, everything else, 11 scores of 100, has been the foundation for his success in this match. His to lose from here.
David Carr, 161.
He definitely uses that bullseye as a
65.
real part of his game in the finishing process. He leaves a 2-darter. David Davies on 271. It's a great way to start in the 19s on this one. Beginning of the end.
27. David Carr, 96.
Looks a good guide, doesn't it? Couldn't use it though.
56.
But like a good golfer, a fantastic layup. Like I said, solid, if not spectacular. And it's been enough for David Evans. He's been the star of the show tonight. And he's moments away from taking real control of this group. It's double top. He's looked at Sherwood. Thank you.
Yeah, that didn't quite look as a Sherwood, but he rescues it and he remains cool, calm, collected, and he's collected 2 more points. 6 in the bag for David Evans. David Davies will end the night on 4, winning half of his matches, but Evans may yet go through the card. A 4-2 success over Davies, hitting half of his double attempts along the way, and he has 1 more match to play against Scutt, which if he wins will see him complete the perfect night. Before that though, Andreas Harrysson takes on a player looking for his first win at the Super Series, Llew Bevan, up after the break.
Yeah, welcome back to the MODUS Super Series, and it's job well done so far for David Evans. 3 wins out of 3. He's looking really good for qualification. He will be involved in our final game of the night next, after this match against Andreas Harrysson against Llew Bevan. Funny old night for Bevan. Started like a house on fire. He really did. He looked the real deal in an absolute rip snort of a game with Scutt, but since then it's gone a little bit pear-shaped. He quickly went off the stage in his last game, knowing he's played 3 and lost 3. And Andreas Harrysson, we just saw signs of his brilliant best in his previous win, so you'd have to fancy the Super Swede in this game. But the unpredictability of Bevan, Chris, who knows?
No, I'm going Bevan, Glenn. I have stuck my neck out tonight and said I don't think any player will leave empty-handed, so I'm going to stick with that and predict Bevan gets his first win in this match.
60.
Yeah, which Harrysson are we going to get? It looks like he's determined there.
100.
I bet he'd look about 10 years younger if he cut that beard off.
It is a magnificent facial feature, isn't it?
80.
Is it the best beard in darts?
Who's the beard to be feared? Is it Whitlock?
He was, yeah, that's what he was once known as, Simon
100.
Whitlock. Old sparring partner of yours, Scott Waits, has done a bit of a wizard thing with his beard as well, hasn't he?
Yeah, he seems to be able to grow that after like 3 days. Do you remember some of his Movembers? It'd take me about 6 months to grow something.
60.
We have actually got a current thing running on social media where Henry Deacon grows an Andreas Harrysson style beard.
81. $77.
You never thought of it, Glenn, yourself?
I just cannot grow facial hair very good.
I find it's very good for hiding chins.
104.
Hence the reason I'd like to. Yeah, I went for a shave today, take a shave, and he just said, I've just put a cream on your bit of your chin there. I went to him, he said, no, the other 7.
41.
I said, I'll do the funnies if you don't mind.
Well, Bevan will have to keep his chin up if he does end up losing all his games this evening.
58.
He won't be totally out of it, will he? He knows that David
63.
Davies is going to at least be in range. But he will need a pretty perfect night tomorrow.
31.
Yeah, a win here for Bevan and a win for David Evans. And we've got a very interesting night tomorrow night. We just sense that had to go. It's just not really happening since that first
44.
loss for Bevan.
Andreas, your car 32. Getting shot on the first leg, Andreas Harrysson.
Harrysson takes the first leg.
Second leg clouded through first. Game on.
One of the chat room comments said this commentator
100.
is so boring, snoozing away to his gnarling voice. Glad to be of service.
It is 10 to 1 in the morning here.
Exactly, they were trying to help.
They can't be on about my exciting voice. It must be you, Chris.
Someone says no splinters tonight, Murph, after making that prediction. Well, you can choose
96.
to stand in the middle of the road, but if you stay there long enough, you'll get hit both ways.
Perfect first start you sense there for Bevan.
123.
I've seen enough from him though, Murph, just to, despite the fact he could lose 4 out of 4 tonight. I like what I'm seeing. Like I said,
60.
I can't think of a better word than he just looks very raw, doesn't he? Just
38.
Well, this could be a move being made by Andreas Harrysson.
180.
Yes, you picked that up from the first dart there. You just sensed something big was going to happen. Bevan making his decision on the hockey there.
100.
Is that nasty 98? You'd actually rather be on the 105. Treble 18 needed. Double 16 with a big lead.
89. Closer cards,
Can
98.
Bevan find a finish? A much needed one. 98 required. Now 93. Treble 19. Not found.
66.
So Harrysson to break and double his advantage.
Getting shot in the second leg.
Just like that double
Harrysson.
2. Not for the first time. He's messed around with double 8 and double 4.
Third leg, Andreas.
Finds that double 2 and just seems to be doing enough. Is the Swede?
$100. $82. $41.
Well, Bevan lost his opening match of the night, but it was a really good performance. I was quite excited with what we might see for the rest of the evening in that 4-3 defeat to Connor Scutt. Hasn't really reproduced that, has he?
It's very tough, the Group B. Like I said, it's getting really on now till 1 o'clock in the morning. He's probably not played darts this late.
85.
And the thing I learned about the MODUS Super Series, you sort of try to peak for your first game. And, you know, it's a long old night, and I think the real experienced campaigners can just seem to be able to work out their plan throughout the way. It just seems to it put everything into that first game.
121.
And Harryson's doing nothing spectacular here. His average is well below his norm.
Yeah, Bevan seems to have run out of steam.
46.
And Harryson's just doing enough to take advantage of that without having to get out of second gear.
$132.
Well, he decided to stay on the treble 20 with 82 finish. Should go downstairs.
99. Andreas Ricard, 22.
Bevan yet to have a dart or a double. Will he be back on the 120? No, he won't. Andreas Harrysson leads this match 3-0.
Fourth leg clouded through first. Game on.
He just hasn't got going in this final game for him. And it's going to leave Andreas Harrysson
60.
top of the table if he wins it handsomely. David Evans, of course, will look to change that in the curtain closer for tonight. He takes on Connor Scutt. If Evans wins that, he wins all of his matches. And we'll have a league table in which Evans has 8 points, Harrysson has 6, Davies has 4, and Scutt has 2.
95.
Leaving Llew Bevan without a point to his name.
I'll answer one question from Chris Bradley. The next big Northeast start. Well, we have an 8-year-old by the name of Kai Tiffin. And I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. I watched him average 75 in a county youth game for County Durham.
38.
An 8-year-old, remember the name.
Yeah, we'll book him for the Super Series, next series.
That would break all records.
140.
Well, it would be a good selection. He'd be too young to be able to accept the prize money.
Yes, he needs a beer crate to stand up to get the treble 20 out, and that isn't a joke. But
60.
what a player. But you heard it here first. 8-year-old to make his debut at the MODUS Super Series.
Well, can Andreas Harrysson end the
60.
night
Andreas
with a firework finish? Sparkling stuff. Explosive stuff.
145.
Could not
Total
quite
124.
complete the dazzling display.
It's been an awkward game for Bevan. And once again, can't finish on the
63.
1-2-4.
Andreas car 25.
It hasn't been spectacular once again from Harrysson, but I think he'd be delighted with the way the night has panned out. 8-8.
Game shot
And
on the
Harrysson
match,
finishes his
Harrysson.
campaign with a 4-0 victory. Big smiles all around. A lot of disappointment there from Llew Bevan. I'd like to think, I hope he sees the positives there. He's here for the experience. That's his words. But Andreas Harrysson is here for the title. He'll want to perform a little bit better than that, but a 4-0 is a sweet way to finish the night for the Swede. As we move on to the final game of the night, it's top of the table and unbeaten David Evans against Connor Scutt. And welcome back to Portsmouth for the MODUS Super Series. It's Group B and it's the final game of the night. Unbeaten David Evans has been the real star of the show so far. He's up against a Connor Scutt, which you just don't know which Connor Scutt you're going to get. We expected Connor Scutt to be qualifying from this Group B. Put himself in a great position early doors, but it's gone a little bit pear-shaped. So a huge game for this man throwing his darts right now. Whereas David Evans will be feeling quite comfortable with the 3 wins under his belt.
Game on.
But to get to 8 points overnight, pretty much secure in qualification. So, once again, a big game for both. But more so for Connor Scutt, you feel, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. Huge game for him and really for the rest of the field. If Evans wins this match, you think he's gone away. He's pretty much qualified. It's a contrast to this group, isn't it? In Group B, you can't really go out on night one, but you can pretty much go through. Whereas in Group C, you can't really go through on day one, but you can certainly go out.
Yeah, massive head-to-head as well. Final game of the night, of course. And tomorrow night, it'll be the first game of the night. So a real 4-pointer between them. And similar to Andreas Harrysson, I'm waiting for that
81.
inverted commas performance from Connor Scutt.
56.
Maybe he saves it for last. Pressure on Llew Bevan. He's got no points from 4. Scutt currently on 2. Davies on 4. Evans and Harrysson on 6. A win here for Evans would pretty much put him through. Might have to win one more game tomorrow to be absolutely certain. And remember, the fixtures are replayed in reverse order, so there's still a chance that after 2 meetings with David Evans that Connor Scutt could be level on points with him.
100. David
Yeah, I admire Scutt very much. Like I said, he hasn't been no sulking. He's got a tough ask here. Decisions to make. 62 left. It's bullseye for Evans.
94. Conor Car,
Once again,
120.
a mighty fine thrown dart. This has to go.
Yeah, really nice first start.
100.
He can't
David
quite
Carr, 25.
climb the ladder to tops, and Evans will get the opportunity to clean up the remainder.
Been solid on this type of finishes so far. Doesn't need to move. You can see it
9.
just looked a little bit
Carr,
awkward,
20.
that first dart, the angle of it. Connor Scutt will be relieved to be back.
Game shot on the
Great
first
dart,
leg. Connor
that.
Scutt.
Really good dart. It was all getting a little bit messy. That became very awkward, but pinpoint
Connor did
precision
through
from
first.
Connor
Game
Scutt
on.
sees him break the Evans throw. Is he going to break the Evans unbeaten start?
Yeah, remember that dart, Connor Scutt. If you do get qualification,
57.
we may go back to the importance of that one there, because David Evans is that classic front runner. You could see the disappointment etched on his face when that double 10 went in.
134.
Has had some really strong group stage performances here at the MODUS Super Series. David Evans, including once going through a Group A campaign, winning 14 from 15 matches.
59.
But had a disappointing Saturday night that week. I don't think the 2 days off did David too much good. Whereas if he gets qualification from Group B, which is looking good, he'll
100.
be straight into Saturday night.
$95.
There's been a lot of positive stuff about Connor Scutt over the past 12, 24 months. But now it's about character. Now it's about... He didn't
140.
qualify from a Group C campaign his previous time at the MODUS Super Series, much to the surprise of many. And this time, he's gone through a Group A campaign which flattered to deceive. And he's sat second
100.
bottom at the moment
Conor
here
Car,
as well.
144.
But a win here puts him level with David Davies.
Great attempt.
132. David Carr,
Sharp
113.
shooting from sniper Connor Scutt, who might just be turning it on right in the nick of time. Evans out to stop him. Can't stop him. Scutt will return, having missed the double 12 for the
72.
144.
Conor Car,
Double 6
12.
remains for 2-0.
And 2-0 it is, and once again a final dart just crept in. And your psyche sort of changes a little bit.
Game on.
Maybe the luck's on my side here. Great start from Connor Scutt. This was the man who was unbeaten, remember, in your picture now. The elegance of that throw. Big long arms, big follow through.
100.
Yeah, two very contrasting players in terms of
100.
the physicality of them and the style of play. Doesn't seem to be any sort of obvious advantage for taller players, does there?
100.
You might think there would be with that extended reach, but well, the greatest players, you look at the likes of Phil Taylor, Michael Van Gerwen, relatively short.
57.
Yeah, that's always my argument to people. But a lot of people I work with, when they've got to use that advantage of the height. I think David Evans, when he stands out and he
97.
feels really good and he's standing over that treble. Whereas someone like Connor Scutt, you can see the effort he's putting in that first element of the dart where you've got to get the arc on the
134.
throw.
134.
Good response. Good leave,
David
leaving the same
70.
checkout that Evans is about to attempt. And he's only going to get one dart at a double. That double is double 16.
38.
It's usually all he's needed tonight. He's been that prolific on the doubles. And Connor Scutt again gets a chance, however. Plan A goes out the window.
45. David Carr 32.
And plan B does not work either. So Evans out to avoid a potential whitewash defeat here, and he'll do at least that. Holds his throw, cuts the gap to 2-1.
Fourth leg Connor to throw first. Game on. $140.
Myself and Glenn Durrant will reflect on the evening's action at the conclusion of this final match, and I'll be
83.
giving you advance warning, Glenn. I will be asking you for the 3 names you expect to go through. It looks like we might have a real tight race between 4 of the players.
I think
45.
no matter what happens in this match, I think I know the 3. But I've championed Connor Scutt all week, and like I say, if he loses this game, just the 1 win tonight, I expect him to
100.
qualify. And after that first game, I thought it was going to be no problem whatsoever. The way I read it was his Group A campaign wasn't great because he was always looking
81.
uphill. He never started well in that Group A campaign. Whereas David Evans, consistency throughout, demonstrated all the qualities to be a champion come Saturday night.
60.
And if Scutt wins the game, just how that would impact the other players in the field. Andreas Harrysson, who has not reached the levels that he has earlier in the week, would actually end the night
65.
top of the table.
Yeah, it's incredible. Just looking at that table as you speak. Very reminiscent of Mike Warburton as well, though.
140.
Good visit
Connor
that from
Carr,
David Evans after a
170.
difficult first start. And he's poised here to
93.
get a
David
break
Carr,
of throw.
118.
Yeah, I really like that treble 18 there. Your instinct asks you to stay on the treble 19. This has to go the treble 20. There was the opportunity to treble 16 bull there when you're covering it that badly.
40. Connor Carr 77.
So 77 to restore that 2-leg cushion. Treble 19 goes next door. Now may only get a dart at the bullseye. Doesn't even get that.
37. David Carr 78.
Yeah, you can see the reaction in the background there from Connor Scutt there, frustrating. That could be exacerbated if this tops goes in.
Game shoulder
Julie
fourth
does
leg.
big
David
come on,
Evans.
he shouts. And Connor Scutt will be feeling right now. I just
Fifth leg,
cannot
David,
get
to throw
over the
first.
winning line. You can see him
Game on.
chattering away to himself. Doesn't engage with anything with David Evans. Best of 3 now. Evans has the darts and the momentum.
Yeah, both averaging around 84, 85, but Evans,
93.
as Glenn rightly alluded to there, found a way to take control of this contest, and it's a night where he has been the boss. And suddenly in this match, Connor Scutt has started spraying his darts.
85.
They've been, well, the last couple of legs, he only got a dart at the bullseye when he should have had one at a double. Then he should have had a dart at a double, but didn't even get a dart at the bullseye.
55.
Really has cost himself opportunities. He might be carving out a chance here.
140.
Almost disgusted look on the first dart there
57.
from David Evans. And once again, Connor Scutt right behind me. Can't wait to get to the board. It wasn't a strategy that worked, remember, on Tuesday.
57.
Perfect first dart.
140.
felt he was going to fill that up, but puts himself in a terrific position once again. Connor Scutt really needs to set this up nicely. Does he go downstairs? Such a good marker.
140.
Totally understandable.
156.
And does have that fantastic setup.
Oh, this would really, really sting. It would hurt. And it might just have killed off Connor Scutt's hopes. What a finish that is. Absolutely superb from David Evans, who shows why he has been the boss of Group B.
What a sucker punch.
43.
I think that was reflected in that score of 43 there. I decided not to look at the TV screens and just have a look directly at the throw there. And once again, a big scream of, come on.
140.
Yeah, Scutt hasn't recovered, has he?
94.
David Evans can run away with this here. He's effectively taken the darts.
Super. Great focus. Real desire. He's a good guy, is David Evans. He works really hard on his game.
$60.
Evans will have the darts in the last set. There hasn't been the bounce outs
77.
that he had at the beginning of the week. The frustration must be kicking in for Connor Scutt. If he does lose this game, he will be in 4 points. He will be on 2 points behind David Davies, 4 points. All's not lost.
177.
Might be now.
147.
In this match anyway. That's a brilliant setup shot. David Evans has been irresistible tonight. Every point it's looked like an opponent has got the jump on him.
24.
He's just said, no, I'm not having it. I'm taking the points. I'm winning the matches. But this one is not yet won.
Connor Carr, 66.
Well, from the angle I could see there, I thought all of them were in. Chance here for Connor Scutt.
Cuts it in half.
Not to be.
50.
Evans will return, no problem this time, surely. He's had a fantastic night. And it's 4 wins out of 4 for David Evans. What a night he's had. The perfect unbeaten. And 1 foot into that Saturday night. He looks up to the heavens. And for Connor Scutt, it started off so fantastic well with his opening game, but 3 losses. He has it all to do tomorrow. But fair play to David Evans. It was a tough group. That 1-5-6 being the highlight. A big roar have come on. And the Lancastrian, 4 wins out of 4. He looks good. He moves on. It's been a fascinating day. Group C really delivered, and Group B has the potential winner in David Evans over. We'll be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow for the conclusion of the Group C campaign.
Yeah, fantastic evening, and particularly for one player, David Evans, 4 wins out of 4, Glenn. We are going to hear from him in a moment, but just give us your summary of his night.
Yeah, I just thought he was consistent. I thought his scoring was good very early doors. A lot of the damage was done early. And like I said, that Connors got through a few things. I mean, he seemed to have the answers as well. The 1-5-6 at the end was beautiful.
Yeah, it really, really was good stuff from him. Quickly talk about the other players as well, because Andreas Harrysson, I mean, he's just behind him in the group, but didn't really have the best night in terms of performance.
Well, if Connor Scutt had got over the line against David Evans in that final game, Andreas would have been top of the table overnight. I say very reminiscent of Mike Warburton in the conversations we had there. There's still plenty in the tank for the Swede, but I think he's done enough and he's looking good for qualification. And is that enough for him? Probably.
Yeah, David Evans has joined us here in the studio. David, congratulations, fantastic start to your campaign. Glenn was just talking about how sort of assured you looked this evening. Is that how it felt?
Yeah, it was sort of, I've been here before sort of thing, and I know what I've got to do, and against the standard that's here tonight, it's one of those I've just got to do my job, and that's what I thought I did tonight. So. And
you've had groups where you've really dominated before, so you do know how advantageous it can be to get a good start on the first night.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, to get 4 out of 4 tonight, it stands me in good stead for tomorrow, so it's just hope it carries on forward.
Last time you were here, 14 wins out of 15 in Group A, but it didn't work on the Saturday night. No. I think my narrative in commentary tonight was, it's time for you to be stand up and count on a Saturday night. I think the Rolls Royce throw, I called it tonight, and once again you've been fantastic. 4 wins out of 4 in that group, 1 foot in there on Saturday night. But what do you have to do now to lift that trophy on Saturday night, do you think?
Personally, I mean, I've been to Saturday night 2 or 3 times now. I think it's just don't think, just carry on doing what I've been doing and just get on with the job at hand. I know I'm capable of doing it. As you've said before, and I'm sure Wayne Mardell said it as well, the Rolls Royce of throws. So just got to use that to my advantage.
Yeah, overthinking can be the devil in the game, so it's really good there. But we haven't spoken an awful lot about you this week. I know you love your darts. Have you been watching this week and been a little bit, why aren't they talking about me?
No, I mean, it's sort of, I have been watching, but, it's hard work when you're running a pub. It's, the Gamble in Preston, and everyone's behind me there as well, so it's one of those, running that as well as watching, getting a bit of practice in as well, so it's just one of them, keep forward.
Balance.
Super series on the big screens in the pub.
Absolutely, I think they'll all be watching, yeah.
Well, the next thing we are going to show you, because this is the table after the opening night of play, and David Evans is sat at the top of the table. We'll see that in 1 second. Sorry, that's just the stats from your victory against Connor Scutt. There is the table, and it's kind of that uniform 8-6-4-2-0, but the man having the 8 points is the one that's going to be leaving the happiest.
Yeah, absolutely. To get, like I said, to get 4 out of 4 against a group with the talent that's in that group, great, happy.
How was that practice room? Because Llew Bevan, I think, doesn't deserve to be on 0, first of all. Andreas Harrysson wasn't at his blistering best. How was that battle with you?
It was brilliant. I mean, it's good atmosphere between us all. No, like you said, Llew doesn't deserve to be on 0. He's a quality player, and I think tomorrow we're going to have to be on our guard, because I think he is a class player and he's going to come forward, I think.
Do you think you've got a little bit of a score to settle? Glenn mentioned Saturday nights before. I mean, you've had different experiences on Saturday nights. The one that I was looking at was the week that Scott Taylor won, and all your games went 4-3. You end up losing 4-3 to him. Of course, he wins that night and then goes on to win the series. In a way, did that make it feel more like one that might have got away?
Yeah, I mean, I think I missed 3 match starts to beat Scott, and it's one of those that, if I could have anyone else win that group, obviously it's got to be my best mate. I've known him for a lot of years, so it's one of those. But yeah, it did get away from me, and a bit gutted about it. But
stop being nice to him.
Yeah,
that's another thing I said in there. I said he's too nice and wants to be respected by others. Get nasty on Saturday night.
There you go.
We're talking like you are already through, but of course, you know that there's still a job to finish tomorrow. So what is the aim? What is the sort of approach into tomorrow?
Just do exactly what I've done today. Just head down, get on the board, do what I've come here to do. It's my job.
You usually wouldn't do this, Glenn, with the player sat next to us, but I've got a feeling he's going to be the one of the names you're going to say. So I'm going to ask you, having seen the action this evening, who are the 3 players you think are making it through?
Yeah, David will get through, no problems whatsoever. Andreas Harrysson will qualify, no problems. And I just think Connor Scutt, look, I've championed him all week. I think David Davies got away with a couple early doors. He's that typical grinder. Connor Scutt's got to find it. Connor Scutt's got an incredibly difficult opening game against this man sat next to me, but I think he'll come to the fore tomorrow, and I think they'd be my 3.
Just a quick word on Scutt that we didn't mention earlier. That attempt for a 9-dart finish earlier on, what were you thinking? And what were you thinking when he goes for 3 bullseyes?
Well, fancy asking boring does it that? But we all knew he was going to do that. It's not like it was, it's preempted. He wants to break the internet, I think is the words he used before. However, he's in the midst of a Group B where he's not doing great. It cost him in the end, remember. But, he's the attempt now. He uses the treble 17, of course, for that last app. But so we were saying in the commentary box, he's already thinking about the 3 bulls at this stage here, because them 2 darts are sat absolutely perfect for another 180. And then that was a long way. But what was very interesting is that he lost that leg.
Yeah, Andreas Harrysson punishing. Were you guys all sort of glued to the screen in the practice room at that point?
Yeah, he was sort of looking at it as if whether he's going to actually hit the first bullseye. If he hits the first bullseye, then knowing Connor, he'll probably follow it up. But the first one sadly dropped in the 3. But
not a tactic you're planning to employ yourself?
No. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, well, it would have been spectacular, but it's been all business from you tonight. Well done, a really strong start, and good luck tomorrow. I'm sure we'll see you then and on Saturday night. Glenn, of course, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for today, and thank you for watching a couple of great sessions of darts here at the MODUS Super Series. We've had a 9-dart finish, of course, today. Jared Cole producing perfection this afternoon, the first of the year. We've already got a player through to finals night as well, Leonard Gates, but David Evans has put 1 foot in Saturday once again. Let's see if he can finish the job when you join us for another double session tomorrow.